Welcome to the Demetri K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people because we are great, but we can always strive to do better. I am, as you can see, Demetri K, the master debater. Don't run them all together because you might end up hearing something else. Master debater, okay? And next to me is this guy here, the recovering Democrat Donovan Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brynner, because yes, as ever, still bald. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we welcome you, and we also like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, you are the third co-host. And as Donovan said so beautifully the other day, you are our friends. You are our family. So you mean so much more to us than just being in the comment section. And this is one of the only shows that we try to read all of the comments. And we also share the link for you to come on. So if we do that, which we will do today, please show me your face if I've never seen you on here before. Also, keep your commentary short so that everybody else can come on and say what they got to say. And as usual, if you do not have anything pertinent to add to the conversation, don't click on this link. Don't click on the link until you do, okay? And so, now that I've gotten that out the way, we have a jam-packed show today, so we're going to try to get through all these things. We're talking about KeKe Palmer and the situation she finds herself in. We're also going to be talking about Baltimore having a problem where the city officials are saying that parents need to take accountability for their children. It sounds like Baltimore has a problem with their kids. And they say, well, because you don't have to be careful what I say on YouTube. I'm going to show y'all a video. And of course, I've taken the liberty to blur out their cute little faces of children in the classroom. They were asked to sing their favorite song, and their favorite song was kind of shocking. Nevertheless, Donovan, what's going on?
All right, you guys, it is Sunday. Welcome to the Demetri K Show. Glad to have you guys back. Glad to be in the house. It is halftime, about to start the second half. Dallas is ahead 28-0. I'm not going to continue to watch that game. It's versus the New York Giants. So do us a favor, you guys, as you guys come in, let us know where you guys are watching the program from, because this is not a show. This is a program. Let us know where you guys are coming from. Also, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, if you guys look at the bottom there, we have a scrolling moniker going down there. And if you so wish to desire to donate, as you know, YouTube takes 40% of all donations given to the content creator. That is basically a direct way to donate to the program and let Demetri know you want more fantastic videos from the Demetri K Show. All right, you guys, this is going to be intense. I don't want to keep my commentary too much. But fellas, we have been saying, and and I'm gonna give credit to the ladies too. There are a lot of women that are now waking up. I don't know if it's because they have a good father in their life. I don't know if it's because they have brothers. I don't know if it's because they have sons. I don't know if they have that favorite nephew. But they are now seeing the other side of the coin and what false allegations or alleged allegations can do to a person's life. Let's get into it.
Yes, indeed. So I'm saying hello to everybody. Troy, how are you doing? Facts Not Feelings, how are you doing? Nikki Red, what's going on with you? Tawana, how you doing? Long time no see. And Marcella, same to you. How you doing? Sacramento, California. Let's see who else is on here. Okay, so y'all saying where y'all from? Seattle, Los Angeles, New York, New York. Moni, I see you now. I don't know why I haven't been able to see you, but I see you now. But nevertheless, you say, good evening. Much Detroit love, my gorgeous brown sugar boo, Donovan. I hope that you will always start doing more lives. I really love the good points you've been making on political aspect. Yes, indeed, Donovan. You must go live a lot more, okay? So people can see your ooey gooey brown sugarness. Okay. And Anthony, how are you doing today? And Sagittarius Goddess, if I didn't already, how you doing? And Ms. Smith, what's going on with you? Felicia Davis, how you doing? Chicago, Macy, Pittsburgh, and Monet, what's going on with you? Kentucky. All right. So let's get started. I'll acknowledge everybody as they come in here. All right, we got a lot to talk about. So, okay, now I want to say this right off the rip. My purpose of talking about Kiki Palmer and her son's father, Darius Jackson, I think that's his name, is not to gossip. Hey, Shaniqua, how you doing? Is not to gossip or anything like that. And y'all want to know another thing? I don't. I mean, I want to say I don't care to be callous, but we don't know what really happened with the both of them, who did what. There's a lot of speculation out there. Of course, she has accused Darius of being physically abusive to her on a couple of occasions. Sounds like recently he was trying to take the son to a football game. She didn't want him and they got into it. She's saying that he assaulted her, took her phone and a whole bunch of other stuff. So right now she has petitioned the court and she's gotten, I guess, temporary full custody of their son and a restraining order. I guess till they can sort out the details. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff still coming out. But the premise that of me bringing this up is because I'm not really wanting like to get into people's business, but I do like to try to take it from different angles. Is this is really the importance of settling down to a good choice. Now, I'm not saying she's not a good choice. I'm not saying he's not a good choice because, again, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors because, as they always say, there's his truth, her truth, and the truth, right? So it's hard to say. But when I think about somebody like, and I don't know why I'm glitching, and hopefully it'll stop. Yeah, so when I think about somebody like Kiki, I think about she's very wealthy. You know, she's got more money than we do, right? So she's doing okay. She's been in the industry as an actress for a long time, Akilah and the Bee, and probably before then, right? So she's got some means and some wealth and things like that. I think she's in a better position than a lot of people to make better decisions. So again, when I think of her, and I think of what the situation she's in, y'all take it for what you want. I'm like, why? Why aren't you making better decisions? I mean, you went into the situation being a single mom, or not single mom, but I guess an unwed mom because you weren't married to your son's father. And then now you're having these issues and all of that. And so as I saw this, I can only extrapolate. Y'all like that word? Extrapolate that this is an example of why we should be making better choices. Like really vet the people that we're with. And again, I don't have any opinion on what happened because I was not there, but I'm saying even for his end, make better decisions because from his end, they're saying that she's lying, that's not what happened, this, that, and the other. So right now, it doesn't seem like they were a good choice after all for each other. And now all their business is out on display. The blogs have gone into the court records and found the pictures and all kind of stuff of these allegations. And so it's like, when are we, and not even just Black people, but people in general who are trying to get in relationships, when are we going to finally say, okay, settle down there, shut up, I'm doing the talking, and let me make a rational decision. Let me be logical in a decision that I'm making going forward, especially if you are a man or a woman and you got some means, you got something to lose. You might want to take a step back and say, okay, should I be engaged in any way, shape, or form with this person? Do I have anything to lose, or whatever the case is? And so that to me is, I want to say, it's more shocking. It's shocking to hear that may have happened with her. And if that did happen, he's a horrible person for doing that. We don't know. But I'm also as shocked as like, Kiki, really? I'm sure you had a lot of people you could have been with, but now you're telling everybody or telling the court that this is a monster, and he's done this to me. Now, of course, I would be remiss in not mentioning people are saying that this could be a ploy not to pay child support because it doesn't sound like he's making as much money as she is. And so what better, and I'm not saying I'm saying this, I'm just saying what I hear. What better than to say, oh, he's abused me. So you get full custody and all that other stuff to avoid paying child support. So again, not really want to get into their dynamics because we really don't know. But let's have a conversation about making the right freaking choice when it comes to a partner. Donovan?
You took my talking point right there in regards to this is a setup, and I put it in the comments as I'm chatting with everybody in there. Let's get this straight. This man is a total monster, and he's just abusive. And, ladies, I'm sorry. It's just like the brick lady incident. You guys are, in general, not you guys, my friends, but in general, people are so quick to look at a few clips of things and say, "Oh yeah, that's right. A man should, a man shouldn't hit a woman with a brick and all this other stuff, right?" But there's a video right now with the brick lady saying that she would never put her loved ones in danger or, have them fight for a total stranger. She wouldn't want her loved ones to fight for a total stranger. You guys, so these people got finessed in that because it's a scam. She was scamming, in my opinion. And here we are. And this is my simple question. And fellas, tell me with the one or in the comments, just tell me in the comments, why is she just releasing stills? You have video in your home. Why aren't you releasing the whole video? Because I saw the stills, and I'm just going to tell you guys just like this. This is just my opinion. I saw the still, right? You got some freaky people out there. Some freaky people out there. To me, that looked like two people probably engaging in aggressive sex. And, because why won't she release the video? I mean, if the man is assaulting her, wouldn't that embolden her case even more? Wouldn't that embolden? You got the man punching you, choking you out. To me, and this is just my opinion. Everybody's got a different opinion about clips and photos. It doesn't show me anything. It's just two people having sex on the stairs. They're probably getting into that real freaky. We don't know. I don't know. I personally, from what I saw, can't say that was a domestic violence issue. But I can say this as a victim of the child support system and how it works. Between the two of these two adults, who spends more time raising the child? He does. He does. So guess what? If their relationship is through, and I think it is, who do you think the court is going to award and pay child support? The person that makes more money. Doesn't matter they're not married. Thanks, ladies. You really did a great job with that law. They're not married, but she's going to pay, right? If this man was such a monster, and if you guys looked at the clips, and it's funny to me, I don't understand it. You looked at the clips, it's dated 2 years ago. You released clips of an assault, allegedly, that happened 2 years ago. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I know everybody's got an opinion, and I know the ladies, a man should hit a woman no matter what. Well, you're talking to a man that doesn't believe that. I believe there does come a time where a man has to put his hands on a woman. And Demetria, you know what I say? She beat up my mama, she burned my house down, and you kicked my dog. Those are the three things that, one of those three things that you do, I will put my hands on you. And I'm not afraid to say that. That's right, fellas. There does come a time where you will have to either defend yourself or put hands on a woman. So it's kind of sketchy to me, but I think, and her mother had never been on live before, all of a sudden the mom is involved in her grown daughter's business. 2 years later, what I believe is her mother said, "Wait a minute, girl, we're gonna have to get this situation together, because if you guys aren't together, you're gonna be paying him. So you go back for a little while, make it look good, and then we're gonna put out a video clip 2 years ago to embolden your case." I just don't agree with it. So, but let's hear what you guys got to say, because all of a sudden the chats went spike. So we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, so I forgot to put this picture up of them, but that's KeKe, their baby. I think he's 8 months now, and then her child's father, Darius, and it sounds like he's an athlete and a personal trainer. So it sounds like he's got a little money of his own. He's not like just some broke, dusty dude, as a lot of people would like to say that he is. But I should also say too that per KeKe, she approached him. She saw him at a party, and she knew his brother. And she asked, "Who was that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my brother." And that's how they got together. So she saw him and, approached him, and that's how they got together. So it's, there's a lot going on. Rashad, how you doing? And Sagittarius got it. She says, "I thought that was the last one was recent." So yeah, I think the last one they said was from November 5th, and then one was from February 2022. So the last incident was recent, where I guess he was trying to take the son to a football game, and she didn't want him to. To me, that's problematic as well, because it's like, if it's both of y'all child, then why he can't take the son to the football game? You know, what's really going on here? You
Right. And
know,
a lot of women have a problem when the father makes a decision what he wants to do on his time. And, and again, ladies, it's supposed to be equal custody. If the father wants to take the child to a game, who are you to tell him during his time? That's his time. So I don't know. It's sketchy to me. I think it's about the money and paying the child support. That's what I think it's about. It's a move to set it up. Those of us that have been in the child support system, fellas, how many times has the system been weaponized against us? We've seen this playbook. We've seen it.
Yeah, so I don't know, and Tawana, you say he's an abuser. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, it's so much that we don't know. And I suspect, it'll come out, since it's now public, as to what's going on. Because when you get a restraining order, you still have to go back to court and prove your allegations. Yeah, you can't. They give you a temporary restraining order to say okay. But the other thing that I've heard people bring up, and again, like I said, I don't have an opinion because I try not to, because I don't know the dynamics of what happened. But I think it does kind of raise an eyebrow and make you think, well, he wasn't taken to jail. If you're doing that to somebody, you're abusing somebody, especially in California, and that y'all can think, if you want, OJ. That law changed with OJ, because before then, let's say somebody calls the police and say, oh, she hit me or he hit me. It would be up to you if you want to press charges. But now in California, I don't know if it's all like that around the rest of the country.
Yeah, a lot of states they have to come in and take
it. You don't have a choice. The police say, well, it's too bad. Y'all called us, one of y'all going, But it sounds like nobody went, and it sounds like they just said to him, hey, leave the premises or whatever like that. So nobody went to jail. So again, I don't have an opinion as to what happened. And this is what I would love for us to do as people. For one, maybe we need to learn how to mind our business. But I know somebody, because KeKe didn't put it out there, neither did Darius. TMZ, I think it was, they went to the courts and they found it, because that's what blogs do. They go to the courts to lurk and see.
Public record.
Yeah, somebody has filed some things and then they make it newsworthy. So she didn't put it out there. It was discovered. But what I would like for us to do is stop drawing opinions on stuff that we really have no knowledge of, right? Because a person can say something happened. That doesn't mean it actually happened. Again, we're just seeing still photos. Now, KeKe might have a whole video that she's waiting to present. Nobody really knows. And the other thing is, maybe he didn't do any of that to her. Maybe it was, a lie. So we don't know. I don't have an opinion, because what I don't want to do is, if something really did happen to KeKe, is be on the side of, she lying, because we are only taking little steals and things or whatever accusations that we see on the internet, and we cannot draw a conclusion. Now, can we be skeptical? Sure. But nobody really knows. And if she has that on video, that is the ultimate witness. You see what I'm saying? So it's I don't know. I don't have an opinion right now.
Yeah, and let me just add that Tawana says he is an abuser. Let me ask you this: when you're in a relationship with a person, and there's ups and downs in a relationship, and your significant other tells you, don't dress this way, or he sees you at a concert cooing over another dude, whatever, isn't that some form of a mental abuse? Isn't that some form of abuse? And then you do a video with the guy to throw it in your face. Isn't that some form of an abuse? And what I'm trying to say, ladies, is we're quick to throw these labels out. He's an abuser. He's an abuser. We don't know that. We really don't know that. But if we're going to throw the labels out, I just gave you a good example. In my opinion, when you are mentally abusing your significant other by doing certain things that trigger a person, because you don't know if that person can control themselves, you don't know what, you really don't know their background and where they come from, whatever. I mean, that's a form of an abuse too, in my opinion. You're out there, you're supposed to be his woman, you're out there showing your cookies and all this other stuff, embarrassing me. A good example, Joe Smith, the Joe Smith incident. His wife is mentally abusing him left and right. by doing these interviews and trying to gin up business for herself and all this other stuff. To me, that's a form of mental abuse. So, I mean, again, I don't understand if you got a video like that, and I agree with Demetra, maybe you're holding it for something, but when you got the goods on somebody and you're going to give them that label, I would have released the video and said, hey, this is what's going on right now, not just clips. That, to me, when you're just putting out clips, to me, it's like you're trying to set up a narrative.
Hello, Monica. You say, hi, Dimitri and Donovan. Still pictures can help paint a narrative. It said the video has context, but he did rough her up. But if he was for 2 years, she never wear that dress to Usher or deny him access to his son. Well, they also say pictures are worth 1,000 words. So any narrative, yeah, like you said, can be painted from that picture. And the video, I think, is going to be the ultimate witness. Did it happen or did it not happen? Again, I'm not saying it didn't because I don't know. I try not to be those type of people. Oh, she ain't abused or he's not abused, because we just don't know, right? It'd be horrible for us to make judgments on something we have no knowledge of. But yeah, so the pictures, people have drawn all types of narratives from those pictures. Were they playing? Was he trying to run away from her? Did he really push her? And, so it's a lot of things we just don't know. But Donovan, and I also want to go back to this too. Let's see. APG, how you doing, by the way? He says, even if she approached him, he lied to her about being single. Apparently he was in a relationship with a woman he forced to get an abortion. See, this is the stuff that I'm saying too. Even if all that is true, what is that? Why is that our business? And why do we even know any of that? And it say he lied to her. Kiki cheated. I mean, wow. She had a choice in the matter. She could have said, you lied to me. You did A, B, C, and D. I don't want to be with you. But she went off and had a son with him. So I get it. And I'm not saying this about you, APG, but I notice we live in a culture to where it's like we want to kind of throw everybody's dirty laundry out there to kind of compile and see, this is why you're a bad person. He ain't forced that lady to get no abortion. She got the abortion. He might be coerced her, but did he force her to do it? I don't know. So I think sometimes we got to put the ownership where it is due, and I think a lot of these things are probably coming out about him to kind of paint him more of a horrible person off of narratives that we don't even know is true. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we got to take a step back and say, well, we don't know all that is going on. Let us be objective, maybe watch and see what actually unfolds. And then we can make an informed opinion, I guess, is what I'm saying. And Donovan, you said, you believe what she did with Usher is some form of mental abuse. I mean, I could see how that could be annoying and would bother you, but mentally abusing, I think that's kind of a lot, because we ultimately have the control over what people do. Like he can't control Kiki from doing that, but he can control how it affects him. So a form of mental abuse, I don't know about that. I don't know. Well, and then wait, with Joe Smith and his wife, the one that's, is on OnlyFans and stuff. Now, hell, he knew the job was dangerous before he jumped over the broom with her. So if he's mentally abused, that was something he signed up for. I mean, you married a porn star. She does porn.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, see, it's easy to easily dismiss that. You got to understand how men think. If that is our woman, we mentally do not want other men seeing what we're working with. So we're operating in a mental realm because we worry about what people think of us, what our friends think of us, and all this other stuff. You women go on emotion, which is great. That's how women are wired. Men are logical. We do not want to see our woman cooing over another dude. It all is in our mind. It's a mental thing. So I believe, especially as a man, that's a form of mental cruelty, because he told you don't do it. In that incident with the Usher thing, he was like, but the dress though, you can go to the concert, but now you're doing this, to me and embarrassing me and all this other stuff. And then you do a video kind of alleging, I never saw the whole video, with all this other stuff. To me, that's a form of mental cruelty. I mean, it just is. So, when married women or people that are in relationships talk about, when women say my body, my choice, no, it's not. You are committed in a relationship with that man. It's y'all's body, y'all choice. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, I can't go and do what I want to do just because I'm married, because basically that's what women are saying. Well, I'm married to you, but if I don't want to have your baby, it don't matter. My body, my choice. Well, then you know what? I want to go over here and get with this 304, my body, my choice. So, we just can't have it both ways. But for men, I'm going to say it's speaking as a man, that's a form of mental abuse, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I just know if I was Joe Smith, somebody like that. I mean, you married a porn star, and you shocked that she doing what porn stars do. I mean, I think you the fool. I honestly think you the fool. You thought
Yeah, I
what
agree
that
with you on
women.
that one.
Yeah, they say you can't make a hoe into a housewife, but damn sure he tried and he failed. You know what I mean? So he gonna have to just kick his own self in the behind over that one. Facts, not feelings. You say, I recognize this from my younger years. The black woman who loved you will turn and use the white supremacist family court to attack a black man and black family for personal gain. This can never be accepted. Not all black women will do that. Some black women will do that. And women of all races do it, but it's not just all black women. I know you're not saying all black women, but I don't want to put it out there like this is a black woman thing. It's not all black women that do that. So I just want to say that. And Renz, you say, if he was supposedly abusive before the baby, why would she have a child with him? I mean, that's a fair question, I would imagine, but I don't know. Suburbia Jones, how you doing? He says, you don't know if KeKe leaked the stills or not. No, I do not know that. But I do know that it was found in court records. She put them in court records, and believe it was TMZ that published it. So of course, TMZ, they are considered like newsworthy and credible news sources, and that's how it got out there. So I don't think did she leak them? I don't know. To me, if I was KeKe and it really happened, I would just leak the whole video, so that it would cut down on speculation. See, I'm in public relations, so I understand that. For me, I would have been proactive and used some foreseeability and said, okay, well, if we release these photos, we know people gonna say, wow, how do we know? Well, it looked like this and we look like that. I would have said, if I was on her team, well, if we gonna do it, let's do it. Let's release the whole video. That way there is no doubt as to what happened, right? We want to get all that out the way. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but whether KeKe leaked them, I don't know. I just think, because I think a lot of people don't understand, for a man or a woman, there's a lot of shame, if she is that, I'm not saying she is, in being a victim of domestic violence, or being in a situation, maybe there's no domestic violence, y'all just didn't get along and y'all having issues. That's embarrassing. So I don't know, but she could have. I could be wrong.
Yeah, have you guys ever filed a small claims court or anything that has to do with the court? Anytime you file with the courts, did you guys ever, like within like a month or a couple of weeks, get a letter from Judge Mathis or one of those shows, Paternity Court or whatever? Because that's what they do when people file. So to get your dispute, regulated, that's how they get their guests on the show, where the show will pay whatever the situation is. So it's public record. Whenever you file in the courts, everything there in regards to that is public record.
And I want to say this, APG, I'm glad you brought this up, because, my daughter, she's KeKe's age. She's 30. And my daughter, even before all this happened, would always talk about how KeKe was one of the first people that would call out Trey Songz. Trey Songz has been accused a copious amount of times of being, sexually inappropriate with women and things like that, even up to, the ultimate with women. And so KeKe said that he kind of moved funny with her. And this was years ago. So my daughter, she's not saying she don't believe KeKe, but she's saying it's kind of weird that she would be so outspoken about Trey Songz and the stuff that he has done, but nothing about herself up until, she had to go to court. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, people have a lot of opinions, but yeah, Trey Songz, dichotomy, and with her, what's going on, it does kind of make you wonder, like, But then again, when, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but good point. All right, let me skip down a little bit so we can catch up in the comments and we can move on. Hello, Miss White. How are you today? I hope you are having a great evening. Turner Ira, how are you doing? Salam to you as well. Let's see, Eunice, you say, what does that have to do with if he's an abuser or she's a liar? So I don't know if you responded to somebody else, because it doesn't read that way on my end. So apologies for that. And Tigra, how are you doing this fine evening? El Sanchez. You say, at the end of the day, this man is a bum. Oh, she stood by him and took care of him when he didn't have anything. And I'm tired of people always wanting to defend bum over a well-established lady. So again, I don't know whether he was a bum or any of that kind of stuff. I don't know, but it's kind of funny though how he wasn't a bum until he became a bum. You know what I mean? Until these accusations come out. That's why I said it kind of would behoove us to just kind of be a little bit more wise the way we move with opinions, because I always think about Chadwick Boseman. Y'all remember Chadwick Boseman? He was, Black Panther, and he died of cancer. Well, before anybody knew he was sick, and most people didn't know he was sick until he died, he had lost a lot of weight and was looking very emaciated, and people were just making fun of him, going in and ha
Thought
ha.
he was on drugs and
Yeah,
stuff.
all of that. And it turns out that he was sick and he died of cancer. And a lot of people have remorse, like, damn, we out here being cruel and evil and mean, and we didn't have any knowledge of anything that we were saying. And this man was battling cancer, but he just didn't tell us because it wasn't our business. But, and I say we, I mean society. Society drew a narrative that was false. So you would think we would learn a lesson from those things, but no, we just go off of something somebody say, and then we draw a whole narrative like this man is a bum. We don't. Do we know he's a bum? I don't know. He might be.
And then we got to think like this, Sanchez, in the regards of this narrative against men is formed against men in general. That's why the black men are dusties, whatever. And to me, it's amazing for those of you. Demetra is one of them. She has an amazing father. So basically, if we form this narrative and this narrative sticks, what is her dad dusty because he's a man? Is he dusty because the relationship with her mom, them didn't work out, whatever the deal is? A lot of you ladies that have sons, you really don't want to put this narrative out there that labels in general men. You just don't want to do it. That's why there's a difference between 304s and real women. There's just a difference. Do you see what I'm saying? So, we really got to be careful when we throw labels out there. Oh, he's a bum. Well, so you mean to tell me KeKe Palmer is sleeping and having babies with bums?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know KeKe. I don't know anything about her other than what I see, on the internet and TV. She's a very, accomplished, talented woman. She really is. I mean, KeKe has come from, a child all the way up to where she is. And so, I mean, just because she has some status, I guess it doesn't mean she can't. She's not capable of making bad decisions. But to me, that's really what stuck out to me the most. Is like, wow, we should be a little bit more discerning when it comes to people. And like I saw somebody else say too, what happened to getting married before we create children? Now, I'm not one of those people. I wasn't married when I created my daughter, but I only have one because I didn't want to keep doing it. You know what I mean? So absolutely. All right. So let me skip down here just a little bit. Let's see here. Aquaba, how you doing? He says they are weak and cannot handle successful black women. So I think you replying to Keisha. And Keisha, how you doing, by the way? And Tawana says, men who need to control their women are emotional. Yeah, I don't think anybody should try to, if you're a grown adult, you don't need to try to control anybody. Because when I hear we're trying to control another person, I hear like a dog on a leash or something like that. So it should not be something we want to do, is to control another person. We should be controlling ourselves, right? Being respectful, and those type of things. But trying to control another person, that to me sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, I see your facts and feelings. It says not all black women, but a whole lot. I wouldn't even say it's a whole lot. I think there's some, but the stuff you described is not representative of the behavior of black women in general, even. So, yeah. And Calvin, how you doing, by the way? Said, do you believe whoever released those stills want to destroy her career? No, I think, especially for the blogs, I think that it's a story. KeKe and her boyfriend at the time, Darius, they had a very hot and popping story over the summer. The whole Usher thing, and was they together? Was it not together? He called her out and she clapped back. So that was kind of a trending story. But to hear that this is the case, it's red meat for the blogs, and they know it's red meat for their viewers or their followers. So I don't think it's about destroying her career. I just think it's about, gossiping, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Buck Horse, how are you doing this fine evening? Retired mindset. How you doing? He says, I keep seeing people say Darius wasn't on her level. Darius was her level. Yeah. Say water seeks his own level, and so do people, so nobody really knows, and you got to put it into, and I hate to keep saying this, but it's true. They're young. So when you're young and you have a child and you're trying to figure out who you are and try to be in a relationship and going through bumps and bruises, not physically, I hope. So there's a lot going on. Um, so I think you kind of got to give them as a couple grace for those things. But unfortunately, their stuff is just playing out for the world, and it's unfortunate. Hey, brother Samuel, how are you doing this fine evening? Tawani says, I would not want the public to see me being beaten. Yeah, so that's why I kind of feel like, would she really release that? I don't know. And Suburbia, he says, how is this for mental abuse? You come home early from work and you catch your wife in bed, with another man. Now, she didn't lay a hand on you, but it could lead to violence. Yeah, now I would say that is emotional abuse. Most definitely. It's shocking, right? You come home and you see something like that. Yeah, but even in that situation, it's like you probably don't want to put your hands on her or do something you'll regret because you'll have to pay for that. So, try to find a wherewithal to walk away and, so you can get to somewhere you can cool off, I guess. Eunice, she says she is. I'm speaking about everything. She does not seem like the type to allow something like this. I'm sorry, but I don't believe her. And I want to say this, for me, is not whether I believe her or not. I just don't have enough information to go on whether she's lying or she's telling the truth. I'm just trying to remain objective, and I'm learning as a content creator and journalist to just wait a little bit more before I form an opinion, because a lot of times you form an opinion and it becomes yellow journalism. You shouldn't, as far as being in journalism, you shouldn't have formed an opinion off of emotions, because emotions aren't facts, right? And Roddy, how you doing? He says, don't have a dog in the fight, but KeKe has a history of being unproblematic. I doubt she would put something out there if it wasn't something true, somewhat true. Let's see how that plays out in court. Yeah, see, I'm with you. Let's wait and see. Let's let everything play out, since we up in a business now, right? To see what happens. But yeah, I'm not one of those people that's going to say, oh, she lying or he did it, because we don't know, right? We really, those are accusations. And as they say, people are innocent until proven guilty. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right. Now, okay, and there's two sides to a story, and there's a third side and all that other stuff. But what about the other side of it? Could it be a way to set up not paying the man child support in the court system? Now, why aren't the ladies, what is your opinion about that?
Honeydew, how you doing, by the way? He says, yeah, I kind of agree with Donovan on this about tantalizing other men, the way we dress. It is their nature to lust, in my opinion, but why do we need to tease? And y'all gonna be mad at me, but if a woman goes out there and 2 cotton balls and a Band-Aid, her tantalizing you ain't on her. That's on you. If you as a man cannot control your lower regions or your mind enough for something you see to get you all in a tizzy or whatever it may do to you, that ain't on her. That's on you. Because on one hand, you're basically saying, oh, well, she's in control of me. Let's say it's some woman you don't even know. She's walking outside with 2 cotton balls and a Band-Aid, or well, she made me do it, right? Does she really have that power over you, or are you just not exercising self-control? And let's keep it a buck. That's what women do. Women like to sometimes dress salacious to get a little look or a cat call or whatever the case is, but that should not make a man not be a gentleman. And I'm always stand on that. There's nothing she can do or wear to make a man. See, if you're a gentleman, you're going to be that all the time. What a woman is wearing is not going to cause you not to be a gentleman. It is not. So we can't blame that woman, even if she's naked. Can't blame that woman for how you receive that as a man. I don't know. Star Child, you says being abused is embarrassing. It's a whole different animal than someone like Trey Songz trying to do something to her. When you are being abused, you don't want people to know. I would agree with that. A lot of times there is a lot of shame in that. So people just kind of like, I'm gonna keep it under wraps. And Tigre, you say,
I'm going to disagree with that, because when as we know, when you keep it under wraps, the situation gets worse and worse and worse. Look what happened to Tina Turner and all this other Color Purple and all that other stuff that you women believe in. So this new generation of women aren't taking it no more. Y'all getting out there, y'all independent, strong and independent and all that other stuff. So you guys have a mentality of not putting up with that. So I'm not saying that excuse isn't valid, that because some people are still like that, but in general, most women nowadays aren't going to put up with that.
Well, And I'm gonna say this too. Y'all can't blanket that ideology with all women because yeah, Tina Turner, she waited or whatever the case was, but everybody's situation is not the same. And that's why a lot of people end up where they are as far as being abused because they hear, well, you should have, would have, could have, and why you don't know people's situation. You don't know what kind of stress and duress and all kind of stuff that they're under. So we can't apply what women are doing. And he's saying, women aren't putting up with it anymore. Yes, some women aren't putting up with it, but then there's a lot of women and men that are living quiet lives of desperation because they're getting abused and they just figure I'm not going to say nothing about it. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it does end in their life being taken from them. So I think we really should, give it a lot of thought when we talk about people who are being abused, because when we throw a blanket over everything and say, well, this is what you should do, you can't say that because we're not in that situation, right? Black America says they call him a bum because he makes $500,000 a year as a celebrity trainer. Yeah, I don't call him a bum. I don't even know where that's coming from.
Right, but Black America, you got to remember, most women, regular women, you got to make six figures. So 500,000 would make him a bum, according to these delusional women out here who think the average man makes $100,000, $200,000 in some cases, when the median income of a Black man in the United States is $40,000. But for some reason, they deserve six figures.
Well, again, that's not all women. That's the women y'all be watching on the internet, on these, fresh and fit, fresh and funky, or whoever sitting on their show talking all that mess. But that ain't most women, because most women that got some sense know y'all ain't balling out the gym like that. Most women know y'all barely cracking $50,000 a year, give or take. So most women aren't saying you need to make, six figures and, 6 feet tall and what, other 6 inches. Yeah, that might be nice. But most women ain't saying all of that. You know what I mean? Come on, we ain't gonna lie, right? Most women are not saying all that, but I get it. And Demetrius, how you doing? It says, every time I believe a woman after she makes an allegation, it turns out to be a lie. Now I'm just gonna wait on all the facts, which is what we should do, right? We should wait and see what actually happened, if that ever is afforded to us. You know what I mean? No, Black America, we do not need control of each other. We're not dogs. We're not animals where you put people on leashes. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna skip down because I know that I'm behind in the comments. Jamarcus, how are you doing this fine evening? I hope that you are well. Facts, not feelings. You say she wants out of a relationship and she's trying to create a false narrative about him. I mean, all that could be true. We just don't know, right? APG says her experience with Trey Songz, she spoke on it well after it happened. It demonstrates she will speak up when ready. Also, she was wearing what is a current trend, is not inappropriate. So you said the clothing at Usher. Yeah, I guess some people could say that. Just for me, I'm an older woman, so it probably would be one reason why I wouldn't wear that. But if I had a man, I would not be dressed like that, because I'm not going to show the world what my man would see. And if my man had a problem with that, then I would not wear it. I don't care more about the opinion of the world than I do my man. But see, that's the kind of the problem that we have in society. We don't have respect for ourselves, and then we don't have respect for other people. Because to me, that should have been a no-brainer. Your man don't like that, don't wear that at the house. Put on something that's a little bit more appropriate. But when you're the big boss and all this other stuff, you tend to not read the room, and stuff happens. So I don't know. And I'm not saying that's necessarily true for KeKe and her man. I'm just saying, for me, I would not want to upset my man by wearing something that I probably shouldn't wear if he doesn't like it. I don't know. I'm just saying. And in fact, not feeling said, I think it is problematic to be twerking on Usher. I mean, it could be, but Usher, he's married with children and all that other stuff. So we know it wasn't nothing in it for him. And I actually went to Usher's concert and he saw me. I was waving. He says, I see you. So I just want to put that out there, commercial break or whatever. But I saw Usher. And if you see Usher's show, then you can probably understand why women go and do that. I mean, he's got strippers on the pole and they doing a thing up there, right? So being that I went to an Usher show, I can see the context of why KeKe might have wore that and did what she was doing. And people, they buy those seats right there. They're expensive. So because that's where he goes up to every show. And, so usually it's a celebrity, somebody. So I don't know. Some men don't like it. So I guess her man was one of them. Tanya says, I believe KeKe and her mom are being messy, and she could be doing another lying Rihanna. I mean, all of that could be true. I guess really it just remains to be seen. And like I said, I don't have an opinion about whether she's lying or he's lying. I don't, because we really just don't know. Stanley, how you doing? Long time no see. So you say, so if I'm outside doing the Ball Johnson dance, it's women's fault for looking. Why? I know, no, not see. Are y'all listening? Are you listening? Hello? Is this thing on? Did I say it was your fault for Donovan? What did I say? If you remember, what did I say?
You said that women should listen to men at all times and stay in their place. That's what I heard.
Use a lie. What I said, Mr. White, I didn't say that she was in trouble. I mean, he was her fault for looking. I said it's his fault for getting to reacting to that. You know that's what I'm saying. I didn't say it was. I mean, hell, I would look if I see people out in public, they dress nice or they not dressed nice, or somebody's good looking man or woman. I look. It's not their fault for looking. It's your fault for reacting to what they have on. That's what I said. Don't put words in my mouth, because what happens is it detracts from what we really doing here. And I did not say that.
Yeah, you mean taking physical action? That basically that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
taking a physical action.
Yeah, I didn't say you. I'm mad that I even took 30 seconds out to a minute to even address that. All right, so Keisha, you say some women in today's world want to be the man, the queen, the little princess in the relationship all the time. Pick a struggle. Yeah.
There's a lot of real women out there too.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's what I said. You know, we need to learn how, and I know some people are gonna get mad, play our position, you know. And as I always say too, I read a book, and this was written by a man. It says, men, if you are not acting in a masculine role, then a woman is going to act masculine. But if you are acting masculine, she's more than likely going to be feminine, and vice versa. It's just the law of nature. It's a balance, right? So if you're walking in your masculinity, then the woman is probably going to feel more like she could be feminine. I mean, and I didn't say that. It's not even my thought. It was written by a man. The Way of the Sacred Man is the name of the book. And I've heard a whole host of other men say the same thing, including Kevin Samuel. So, yeah, you know, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to say too much, so I'm just keep on reading. But, okay. Benjamin, how are you doing today? Say, so are you saying that a woman can get naked and her man should not be angry, sister? Did I say that? Or are y'all? Hello, M. How are you doing? You're not late for class. You are right on time. Virgo, how you doing? It says these women lying down and they getting abused now. Shaking my head, the fronting. I mean, you know, but for the grace of God, there go I. I'm glad that I'm not being in a situation to where I'm abused. But if you've never been in that situation, I'm not saying that anybody has not. It's just kind of hard to judge people. You should have, would have, could have. If I was you, you know, you need to boil some grits and pour them on them. You know, like we just bumping our gums. It's not even our situation, and we telling people what they should do. I mean, I know people, men and women, that have been abused, and it's like kind of hard to talk about it, right? Because it's like they don't know if they want to stay, they don't know if they want to go. They got children together. It's a lot to ponder. So to try to blanket what people should do when they're being abused, I think is wrong of us, especially if you haven't been in that situation. Now, I've been in some tussles when I was in my 20s with dudes, because I ain't never took no ass.
And you beat that death penalty rap twice.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But so have I ever been a victim of abuse where, you know, no, I never have, you know, a joker put his hands on me and we were squabbling. But that was me when I was, you know, when I was a lot younger.
Can I say this? Can I say this? Since, you know, and I want to say this, not to be messy, but kind of be messy. But I want women to understand this. This is why these narratives, I agree with Demetra, we have to stop until we get to all the facts. Until then, it's just speculation. Politically, so it's the black man's fault that Trump won in 2020. It's the black man's fault if the Democratic Party doesn't win these elections coming up. Do you see what I'm saying? But the black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Do you see these narratives that are put out? Now, notice, black women, it's always positive. Black men, it's always negative in the political circles. See, so we really got to be careful and know the facts of what we're talking about. Nobody talks about the white women that unilaterally supported Donald Trump that gave the election to Donald Trump in 2020 or 2016. Sorry,
You said who gave it to him?
the white women.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Uh Calvin, you say, sister, a lot of women not all need to read the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. You talking about by Shahrazad Ali? Yeah, I mean, a lot of her thought processes came from the Nation of Islam. Y'all really could benefit from watching. It's a 4-part series on YouTube, How to Give Birth to a God. And Brother Samuel and Brother Jonell put me onto it. Now we throughout the years have seen clips of it, but watching it in its entirety, oh, it's a game changer. It is a game changer. So yeah, yeah, Shahrazad Ali, she wrote a very thought-provoking book that got her in a lot of trouble. Some of the ideology in there was kind of, but she made a lot of great points. So yeah, and Monet, he says, I'm 37, can't figure out why women are going out in public dressed naked. Women at work dressed away in public are okay with it. I'm not okay with this type of dress. Yeah, I mean, I'm not either, which is why, when I go out, I try to, and I'm sorry if I'm freezing up a little bit, y'all, but I try to be properly dressed. As a 52-year-old woman, I just feel like it's improper for me to be out there with everything hanging out. I don't even show my legs in public no more. Now back in the day, like I said, I could wear some shorts now, but I don't even do that. I don't even show my legs at all. I'm covered up, and my dad, he's just like, yes, I love it.
Well, here's the thing, though, Demetrius, and a lot of the, us older people, we got to get back to teaching the younger people about class and sophistication. Your shape in clothes fully covered is more accentuating to a man's eye because we're like, damn, that ass is big, you know what I mean? Or whatever the deal is, you know what I mean? And we don't see it. We want to see what's under it. You know what I mean? So you're going to get more attention because of the way you're shaped already. And a lot of these young women don't know that. More is less. They just don't know.
Yeah, we just got to, start teaching those principles. And Stanley, he said, I'm talking about the cotton ball and the Band-Aid outfit. I was asking, dang, yeah, even like I said, I was being very extreme with the cotton ball and the Band-Aid. I'm saying even if she has that on, which a lot of women do be wearing cotton balls and Band-Aids or the
Or
equivalent,
eye
right?
patch.
Yeah. As a man, you still should not allow that to make you come outside of being a gentleman. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't look. Hell, we all gonna look, right? But as far as the actions from that point, whether you're a man or a woman, that those belong to you. That doesn't belong to her. You are in control of those actions, is all I'm saying. So, y'all misinterpreted not saying that is I never, Lord have mercy. I'm like, and I'm one of those people, I can use big words and all of that stuff, but I try to be as layman as possible. And I'm like, how did we get here? But yeah, no worries, Stanley. Angela says, I saw Usher in Vegas in 2021, and he came down from dancing and singing to give me a bear hug. My friend got on video. Yeah, so that's just what he does, right? So of course, Usher's there, and he fine, and he gyrating, and he's singing and stuff. Of course, you want to be in the spotlight. So I can see, women going in there and, hey, Usher, listen, after he wipe all that sweat off of him, after he done roller skating and stuff all around stage, he going home to his woman. He ain't trying to be with none of those women. It's something he's doing. He's acting. I'm gonna give y'all women a fantasy what you came for, and then I'm gonna go home, and do whatever I do with my wife. So let's see here. And Tigra, oops, you say, I'm almost 60 and I wouldn't dress like that in the house nor in public. Well, at home is a different story, but yeah, in public, yeah, I think we should I live, pretty much by myself. My daughter's here sometimes. She's not here now, but so yeah, if you're in mixed company, as my mom would say, yeah, you should probably be a little bit more aware of what you're putting on. But yeah, like I said, I'm not judging anybody. You want to wear what you want to wear out the house. Just for me, I choose to have on some clothes. That way, we don't have to deal with a whole bunch of nonsense. All right, so Stanley, I'm not upset. I was just a little bewildered. Like, y'all, I thought I was kind of clear. I never blamed the man for looking. So that's why I was kind of like, huh? How did y'all get that from all that I said? So that's kind of where I was a little confused. So, like I said, no worries. Hey, Patty, how are you doing? Anita, you say there's a whole lot of selective listening going on. Yeah. Eunice says, I agree with you, Demetria. A woman should stay in her position and a man should stay in his. That way, the creator made it that keeps balancing relationship. Yeah, but you say something like that, and it's, oh my God, what are you saying? Michael says, I don't have an issue with a woman being independent and working on her career. However, I have an issue when she is too controlling and covert in her communication. Yeah, you never want to be with a woman who is too controlling, and the other way around, because it's always going to be their way or the highway. Facts, not feelings. To say, I'm so sick of these false narratives about men, and particularly about Black men. That is why Western men are leaving the first opportunity you get. Well, I wish you well. Peaceful journey. I was gonna say, don't let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you, but then I was like, that probably wouldn't be nice. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, we can't stop you from leaving. But again, that's not all Black women that's doing that. Y'all taking the little bitty words and stuff y'all see up being perpetuated. Yeah, y'all might know a couple of women like that in real life, but that's not all Black women. And nobody's true. Don't nobody defend Black women more than me. I mean, Black men and women more than I do. So I'm like, where y'all getting this false narratives about Black men from?
Right. But in reverse, where are these women generalizing all Black men as negative and negative and negative? See, we see more of the negative than we see the positive. Because if the sisters that are positive, you guys are few and far and in between, but a lot of you guys are silent and not pushing back. If you go on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people pushing back, on it that have some sense, but the majority of them, they don't. And that's what a lot of guys are getting tired of,
But the majority of women wear it online or in real life.
Well, wherever. Like I said, when I talk to young women that have fathers, I have to correct them constantly, saying, "So your dad ain't shit." No, my dad is everything. My dad is this. But that's what you're saying when you say that. That shouldn't even come out of your mouth, even if you do feel the men that you choose is what you attract. So that's on you. But when you say that's the way I correct them in general.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Virgo Flower says, yes, the dressing today is horrible. I saw a picture of an 18-year-old birthday picture that looked like she was going stripping. Lord, I'm stunned that parents just taking pictures. I'd be so embarrassed as a parent. Yeah, but as a parent too, you have to be in a position. See, I don't care how old your child get. Your child is 30, 40, 50. Like I said, I'm 52 years old. I listen to my daddy. Okay. I'm not one of those women. Don't tell me what to do. I'm grown. I pay all my bills. My daddy tell me to do something. I say, okay. All right. If there is no, well, daddy. No,
what happened to Amanda?
But it's the same way, even with my brothers. It might be a little bit of, pushback or whatever. But for the most part, if you tell me something to do and it's right, I'm going to do it. See, I'm not built like that, to where, and other thing too is I have a 30-year-old daughter. If I see that she was wearing something she shouldn't be wearing, I still have a lot of authority in her life where I can say, hey, honey, you probably don't want to wear that. That's, not the right thing. She might say, well, mom, you old. She like to say I'm old, but then she'll think about it like, okay, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? So we should still have a position of authority in our children's lives, even after they are 18. We should but that's on us to teach them that.
Ladies and fellas that you guys watch, the reason why I feel the way I do in regards to KeKe Palmer, like I said, she was a child star or whatever. Could somebody please put in the chat anything that she's done since Akeelah and the Bee? And I'm not trying to, I'm just saying I haven't seen a lot of her work as an adult since Akeelah and the Bee, and I guess the TLC story, whatever that deal is. But I'm also want to say this. We were talking a couple of weeks ago about how Mary J. Blige says it is just unconscionable that she should have to pay this, that, right? Why is it that when a woman is put in a position to where she will have to possibly pay child support, it is the lowest thing a man, could do to her, and it shouldn't be right and whatever. So what I'm saying is this. I believe the playbook has been written ever since the great Kevin Federline hooked up with Britney Spears. And that's what I think is happening in this scenario, to where she's trying to protect assets so she doesn't have to pay any child support. That's Donovan's personal opinion.
I mean, all of that may be true. That might be a strategy. But if that's the case, she's making more money. But see, that's why I said before, letting somebody treat you like a trampoline or whatever the case is, those are things you think about. Well, if I have a baby with him, we're not married or whatever the case is, I got more to lose. I might end up paying him child support. And so, yeah, I think he should get child support if that's what he's asking, and he's proven not to be a bad guy. And as far as KeKe Palmer and her acting career since a cute to be, oh no, KeKe has a hell of a resume. She's acting in a copious amount of movies. She's hosted talk shows and all kind of stuff. So and she's a recording artist. So no, KeKe is that girl. Okay, so yeah, she's one of the movies I saw not too long ago was Nope with Daniel Kaluuya. Great movie. It was an awesome movie. So yeah, she's an accomplished actress for sure.
Yeah, no, I didn't say she wasn't. I don't follow her. That's what I'm saying. The last I really saw of her was like in the TLC story or something of that nature.
Yeah. MCP, how you doing? It says, Lord have mercy, these comments. It's a video on him putting his hands on her. Some of y'all are crazy as F. So is there now a video out? Because I haven't seen it. I haven't been on the internet like that today either. So is there an actual video of them showing it, or is it stills? MCP, if you don't mind me asking. And Fly Guy says, right on, DK, I need more women with their fair mentality. Yeah, I mean, I just try to be fair and balanced, not Fox News fair and balanced, but fair and balanced in my thinking. I try to be more logical because I don't ever think anything is really just black and white or any of that kind of stuff. But I would just, for me, like I hear a lot of brothers say all black women always say this about black men. Blah, 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 blah. What up? Did y'all ever talk about the black women that big up black men that say, hey, I love a brother, black men are everything, y'all great, y'all this, y'all that? Why y'all don't never spend time talking about them? As I said on YouTube, y'all got some sisters, Danica Marie, Pink Book Lessons, and who else? The Crimson
Six to God.
All those women I love black men, I love black women. Why y'all don't spend enough time talking about them? See, that's kind of how we are as humans. We are driven to be negative. You got all those sisters dedicating their whole channel to loving on black men, and y'all focus on the women who ain't. That if that ain't insanity, I don't know what is. And honestly, it does those women a great disservice. It's a punch in their fupa if they got one, a punch in the fupa. That y'all run around talking about the black women that's talking crazy about you, and y'all don't talk good about the women that's big up in y'all. I'm just saying. I don't know. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, she had a Nickelodeon show. People saying no. So KeKe has an accomplished resume. And Eunice says, Demetri, I agree with you. My daughters are 27 and 28. They really admire the way I dress, but I'm still classy yet sassy. Then you could be all of that, right? Having clothes on can be very sexy if you do it right. Now, if you're going out there in the burlap sack, and trust me, a man gonna be able to see through that too. If he really interested in you, he gonna have some X-ray visions and gonna burn right through that burlap sack and imagine what's under there. So absolutely. Sagittarius, God, she says she done an alien movie, but I forgot the name. So yeah, Nope was the name of the movie. I love that movie. It was really good. Moni says, I think both black men and women is tired of the current administration. I don't think that this man is going to do but one term. We need a new president. I think Mitt Romney would be better. Yeah, it may be. Supreme 10, how you doing? It says, be suspicious of women who claim to be abused and there is no police report. Nah. See? Yep. Y'all really? I mean, I get it. Not everybody calls the police when they're abused. See, we got to stop blanketing, putting cookie cutters situation to stuff, because that person that is abused may not want to leave. Maybe they don't want to see that person go to jail or whatever the case is. Maybe the person that's doing the abusing is the breadwinner. So there's a lot of dynamics involved. But to see, because when we put those narratives out there, well, is there a police report? Well, then you weren't. She didn't abuse you then. Then come on. Because there's a lot of reasons why people don't call the police, and a lot of it is fear. We know a lot of times when people are abused, the abuser may go to jail for a day, and they come back to ass whooping. And they come back to doing it even more because you called the police on them. So we really got to start being logical and stop putting these cookie cutter, situations to stuff, because that's not true for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But welcome to the show, nevertheless. All right, let me get down to it because we need to switch gears. I know we could talk about this forever. All right. Facts Not Feelings says, for the last 30 years, women have been fed a lie about men, that men are just out to harm them and not protect them. I grew up believing every hair on a woman's head needs to be protected. But, well, that is true. But I didn't grow up thinking that. And you said in the last 30 years, that would have made me 22. I didn't grow up to think that men are out to harm women. I didn't grow up that. Matter of fact, I've had nothing but men black men specifically protecting me. My daddy being one of them. So I don't benefit from that. I know a lot of women who didn't benefit from that. Um, some women are taught that men are harmful or whatever the case is, but hell, there's a whole lot of prisons full of women that did stuff to men. So again, let's be logical in the way we think. And if people are teaching that message, it's flawed. It's not just men that harm women; it's women that do it to men as well. So
Yeah, what was that show I told you to watch? It came on BET. It was about women that
oh
were
my
like,
man,
yeah, it
yeah.
was crazy. The women were just doing the dudes in left and right. It's crazy.
Right. All right, so let's see here. CP says yes, and she has gained full custody of restraining order on last Friday. So you're saying that there is a live video of them, or is it pictures?
Yeah, no, she hasn't gained full custody. They haven't even had that case yet. She's got temporary full custody.
Yeah, because they have to go and weigh all that out. Tanya says, I don't trust Hollywood folks after Rihanna lied on Chris Brown because we know some females do lie on black men. Look at the brick woman, and she was an immigrant. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's women who lie on men. That we know that. But I don't think that narrative, I'm not saying this about you, Tanya, but I don't think that narrative should be poured onto all black women, because there's a lot of black women, who will fight to the death over a black man. It's just a fact. So, like I said, y'all run around here talking about the women who say something greasy about you, but never really mention the women who are speaking up in favor of black men. I think it sucks that those women are doing that. They could be talking about a whole lot of things, and all those women that talk about black men in a good way, they're very beautiful. They could talk about anything they want, but they choose to talk about sticking up for black men, and a lot of black men run around and don't even give them an honorable mention. Y'all talk about some heifer, on Bissonnette Street, on the internet somewhere, saying something bad about black men. It's like, why y'all giving her all y'all attention? I don't know. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, and I'm seeing y'all say, some Reva TV. I've never heard of her. But if
she's really good. Yeah, she's really good. Tiny little chick, but she be putting it out there.
Yeah, well, so why am I just not hearing about her? I've never heard of her before. So why haven't y'all given
Because your filter shuts down positive men talk. That's why.
No, it does not. I'm just saying, I've never heard of her. Y'all never bring her up. I have to mention that y'all ignore those women for me to even learn about Reva. So y'all should be talking about those women. The women who ain't, acting right, to stop talking about them. They don't need no more energy, no more light, no more none of that. Start talking about the sisters that are speaking very well of black men. Calvin says, Sister Red Pill Passport Bros, Cynthia G, and dating coaches have confused our people about what relationships are. You are 100% right. And some of those people, they're supposed to be rational in their thinking, but they let some people that they wouldn't even know in Kroger get on the internet and espouse all this nonsense about black women, black men, black men, black men. And like you said, got our people so confused. Another thing that for us to argue about, when all you have to say is, well, do I personally in my life know people that act like that? No. Is it just really on the internet? Because like I said, if I came on here saying, today we're going to talk about solving world peace and how to really practice group economics, it wouldn't be that many people on here. You know what I'm saying? So those people are doing it for a bag, and they got people just salivating over the content that's kind of overinflated. So you're absolutely right. We're just confused. And why? We're supposed to be really smart.
Let me ask you a quick question. I just put it in the chat. Believe all women, period. What is your take on that regard? Because a lot of women went with that analogy.
A lot of men went with it too. A lot of men was running around talking about believe all women. Now, as a woman, I don't believe all of nobody. You know what I mean? Because I believe that there's a lot of women that tell the truth, and there's a lot of women who lie. So, like y'all know me, I don't deal in absolutes. I don't deal in black or white. They lying or they not lying. I just believe that there's some women who lie and some women who tell the truth. But to believe all women, hell to the no. Because as I said, as a woman, I've had some women lie and, do crazy stuff to me. So no, I don't believe all women. I just, come on. And we also got to give it proper context. If that was intertwined with the Me Too movement, where it was really a money grab for white women in Hollywood to gain some power. And so they came out with all these slogans that people didn't put no thought process to. They just ran around saying, I believe all women. And you have to have said, why? Why should we believe all women? Because they got two tatas and and an extra hole. That's why. Really? For real? But people just ran away with the slogan, and now we're starting to see the Johnny Depp case is a prime example. Hollywood canceled this man. People said, oh, he's an abuser and all this other stuff. And she was in that whole believe all women movement. And it came out in trial that she was actually the abuser and helped ruin this man's career. Now, listen, I don't care what y'all say. I love me some Johnny Depp, okay? I do. But she damn near tanked his career over a lie, and people was running around talking about, well, we believe her, until they saw that she liked to take a dump in people's beds and stuff, which is what she did. Yuck. And she lied on this man. So, no, I don't believe all women. Not at all. All right, so let me see. Let me skip down here. And for real, we're going to pivot to something else. All right, I'm just reading the comments. I want to acknowledge people have not seen come on here. Okay. Fly Guy, he says, definitely not. Some women lie. It's not fair to believe people without facts. Yeah, all right. I'm sorry that happened to you, but let's see it play out. Let's see if it's, in some cases you can't prove it because there's no evidence or whatever, but yeah, you kind of just want to, I don't know, believe all women. I think that's kind of it's a stupid slogan, honestly. Tanya say Johnny's gonna be okay, Demetra. He's white. Yeah, but the fact that he is white, a very gorgeous man. Now he is. Listen, that ain't no raccoon stuff. Johnny Depp is a gorgeous man. But taking that, he is a white man, a very cherished and loved white man, not even just in Hollywood, but all over the world. And that man was fighting for his reputation off of the strength of a lying white woman who, for whatever reason, they didn't work out. And she had everybody believing he was a monster. He abused her. And all that evidence came out. I was like, no, she's actually the abuser. She's the one that was beating him up. And all this other stuff. Disney dropped him. Like, he lost. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my favorite franchises. And they during the Me Too movement, they flipped it all around and made it all about women, which it sounds like it, I don't know what it did, but then when it all came out that Johnny was telling the truth, Disney was like, hey, big head. And he says, I wouldn't come back to work for y'all for all the money in the world. There's no amount of money. And people really want him to go back and finish the franchise. But he was like, nah, y'all did too much to me. Like, he said, my children, he said all this other stuff, whatever. He said, but my children have to hear those lies about me and have to see all the vitriol and stuff that went on online about who I might have been. And, if you know anything about Johnny Depp really kind of keeps to himself, right? Now, I've been following Johnny Depp since Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I'm saying? When he got sliced up by Freddy Krueger or whatever. But he seems like he's very unproblematic. And so to have to, and this kind of goes back to the case too, of somebody said, oh, well, if there wasn't a police report, it must not be true. Johnny Depp, he didn't call the police that I know of or all the stuff she did to him, but that didn't mean he wasn't abused. He probably was just like, you know what? I got a lot of stuff to lose if I call the police on her for her taking a dump in my bed, beat me up, and all this other stuff. And, and it's the Me Too movement. So people who are strategic in their thinking, they weigh the cost a lot. So that he was a white man and he went through that. I mean, that's very telling.
Yeah, and in the case, there was an actual audio of him locking himself in the bathroom to get away from her. Yeah, it's kind of tragic there.
Yeah, so yeah. So we don't want to believe all women. It's a dumb slogan. It really is. So anyway, let's pivot. Let's stop talking about KeKe. And at the end of the day, KeKe is gonna be all right. And I wish them both well. I really do. Prayers for both of them. I was young once in a relationship, and I know a lot of times things get out of hand. We say and do things to each other that we don't mean, and then when we come 52 years old, we're like, man, we was tripping. You remember when I did this to you, and when I did that to you, man, we was acting crazy. You see what I'm saying? So hindsight and getting some years on you, and then wisdom creeps in, and you're like, wow, we was really tripping. Because see, that's what I'm hoping for them. I'm hoping for whatever happened, when they get to the age of 52, they look back and say, man, we was tripping.
One of the biggest problems as younger people that we have other people in our ears. And I truly hope, that's why I was kind of like, when her mother got involved, this is a grown woman, mom. if you're going to advise her off of the cameras. Do not publicly get involved. But remember when we were younger, Demetra was going through her thing. Yesterday was Veterans Day. I would have testified against Demetra for my brother in arms. I would have testified against her just to put her under the jail.
Well,
so,
I
but,
would say,
but my point is, we gotta let people stay out of our ears and the two couples work it out.
Well, I'm gonna say this too. I don't agree with that because that's her daughter. Whether it happened or not, that's her daughter, and I would never begrudge a parent of speaking up for their child or trying to side on. I would not begrudge it because I'm saying that as a person who had a little problem with my baby daddy when I was 21, and my daughter's father, he calls me up. He says, "Hey, your mama showed up to my house with a little pew pew." I said, "Oh, she did. I didn't know she did. I really didn't know she did that." But we had got into it or whatever, and my mama didn't like what was done to me, and she went over there and said,
"Gangster,
I won't talk to you."
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
No, but in KeKe, I'm saying with her mother getting on TikTok, whatever she did, advise your daughter, out of the public's eye.
I mean, I would, but I can't tell that lady how to respond. That's her daughter. You know what I'm saying? And she maybe felt like she needed to get out there and set the record straight. I don't know. I'm not really that invested. I've seen what happened. Listen, I'll tell y'all this, okay? Because I don't want to lie to kick it. I have my suspicions of probably what could have happened, but I'm not going to tell y'all because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Donovan and I talked about this offline. We had a nice little, discussion about it. I have my suspicions, but those are my suspicions. They're not fact. And I don't matter in the larger scheme of things of what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? All right. So, all right, let's switch gears here. I'm just seeing Norris, how are you doing today? You said, did y'all know white supremacists have charged the river? Yeah. Well, Riverboat, man, they got jumped in Alabama. So I actually did a story about it. It's not out yet. So one of the men that was involved charged him. It was a citizen's charge. So the state, the city, or the police department is not charging him. The police department says we only have one victim. Well, we have a few victims, but the boat captain is the only one that they're acknowledging as the victim. Now, per the law there, a citizen can bring you up on charges and have you summons the court. It's a misdemeanor. The white guy is saying, I wasn't involved. I was trying to get in the middle, break it up, and I got punched. But the defense could say, well, how the hell was he supposed to know who was who? He was being beat up. So it's not so the authorities didn't do it. The individual did, if that makes any sense. All right. So let's see here. Shanika, you say, honestly, Demetra K, do you think KeKe was wrong or both? I only reason why I'm not going to say is because my opinion does not matter. You know what I'm saying? I have my suspicions, but I just don't want to say because I want to kind of wait till it plays out a little bit more and then we can have a conversation about it. And the reason why I said I have my suspicions is because, I was young. I was young once, and I've been into, not that I was an abuser, but I've been in situations where if cooler heads would have prevailed, then things would have worked out differently. So I'll let y'all know my suspicions, but I just don't want to say it here. All right, so let's switch gears here. All right, so let's bring this up. Donovan, take over for just a second. I got to send somebody. They want my address.
Absolutely. In the chat, I just want to say this in the chat. I put in KeKe had a baby with a so-called not on her level guy. Whose fault is that? At the end of the day, regardless of how we feel, left or right, in regards to that situation, remember how I was telling you guys, accountability is women's kryptonite. It's not all women, but a lot of women, accountability is something that they just won't do. At the end of the day, this guy's a Dusty, however you want to call him. She had a baby with him at the end of the day. And that's what we got to really look at it at that. Dusty or not, bum or not, she chose to have a baby with this man. So.
Yeah, Stanley. Yeah. So when I looked into it too, I was like, oh no, so it wasn't the police, it was the actual guy. He's salty, so he's filing charges, but it won't stick. I mean, how was his name is Damian Pickett, the co-captain, how was he really supposed to know like who was a friend or foe? So it's just kind of silly. But yeah, that's what happened. All right, so let's see. What we're gonna talk about next. Okay, for the sake of time. let's go and talk about these little children. And I'll put the video up and then we could talk about it. So they were seen rapping some kind of weird lyrics. I'm seeing where it is. I don't see it. Oh, you better pop up. I'm gonna be mad. I thought I downloaded it. Oops, didn't I? Hold on a second. We might not be watching nothing. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right, so this particular video I'm about to show you was from a pre-K, so I guess a preschool teacher. I guess she was giving her little children an opportunity to sing their favorite lyrics to whatever song that there was a favorite song. Now I have blurred their cute little faces out because I don't want to be one to kind of, put their faces up on the internet. I know it's been on the internet, but I'm not going to do that. But here's a snippet of some of the songs that they chose to sing. So here we go.
Ooh. Yeah.
Go ahead. My red light. No.
Go ahead.
He is trying to see me. He's trying to see me. He's trying to say what's up.
Let's go.
Downtown. Going downtown. It's
Ooh. All right. Just say it, girl. Ooh. 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 That's how you know. Bye. Ooh.
I said, you look good out, no makeup, no lashes, even your makeup.
Okay, so the video, I remove this. So the video was about 2 minutes long or so. So, admittedly, some other kids, they sung some, I guess would be regular songs, nothing major. But the teacher decided to highlight those students. And I guess those are the songs that they wanted to sing. Now, mind you, pre-K is younger than 5, I think. So they're fairly young. And they were singing the lyrics to Sexy Red's Pound Town and a song called Ski. Y'all know anything about Sexy Red. Those aren't nursery rhymes, okay? They're not nursery rhymes. They're inappropriate for children to be singing. But what was more disheartening for me, or just as disheartening, I should say, about what we saw is those babies couldn't hardly even speak, but they could say those lyrics, right? They and I guess maybe pre-K, maybe you're learning how to talk. I don't know. I don't know, but they couldn't really speak that well, but they can sing those lyrics. And the other thing too is like, what silly adult is playing that type of music with their babies around? You know what I mean? Because we know that children are impressionable and they hear songs like that or any song, they're going to repeat them. So what that also tells me is songs like that are on repeat for them, to know those lyrics. It's not a song that they heard once. It's something that is being pumped into them, as I don't know, the parents, mom or dad or whoever, is listening to that. And then they go to school and they sing it. The other problem that I have is that the teacher is like, what kind of special airhead are you? Why would you, for one thing, put that on the internet? And see, if that was my child, I'd be, talking to the school about that teacher's job. That's inappropriate for, I think, you to put those children up there. And it's like, were you doing it to embarrass them? Like, what was your point in doing that? She says it was a break, so she was allowing them to, to express themselves. But it actually uncovered a bigger problem, is that some parents be needing their asses whooped, somewhere in America for having their children knowing those lyrics. I've heard some of Sexy Red stuff, and it's low key makes my ears bleed. That's how disgusting they are. And your baby, they can sing Pound Town, but they can't string 2 sentences together coherently. You're an idiot as a parent. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, Donovan.
Well, let me just say this, and I don't know if the teacher was black, white, whatever, because I know she was black. Now that teacher, I don't know if she took action or whatever the deal is, because again, if it was a white teacher, if it was me, maybe some of it, I wouldn't have known anything of what those kids were saying in regards to Sexy Red, because I don't follow it. But it's obvious to me in that video, the teacher kind of knew what the kids were saying. And that would prompt a visit from CPS, in my opinion, at that point. I know people don't want to hear this. I agree with you. The parents are teaching these kids, if that's what they're teaching them. The first teacher of any race of children is always the mother. And I'm not putting the blame on the mother because unfortunately, yesterday was Veterans Day. And I said this, and Demetra and I talked about this before Veterans Day. What did I say, Demetra? I said, why is it that women love bad boys? Are you guys aware Demetra's baby daddy is a Marine? Killer, trained killer. Y'all love these guys that are violent. Y'all just love them. Some of us upstanding Air Force men. Y'all don't want us because we're corny, brainy, corny type stuff. But in a lot of situations, not a lot, but in some situations, the single mother phenomena is there. So the thing is, these kids are learning this stuff from somebody. And ladies, especially the young ladies, we know they're listening to that kind of music, whatever. And it's unfortunate that they don't realize that putting this type of mentality into these children will probably hamper the children in the next generation to move forward. So it's just sad. It's just sad, 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 sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. And it's like, what happened to common sense? Because I have a child and I've raised, a few children. Okay. And I always sent my daughter to school with, it's not a reflection on you. Whatever you do is a reflection on me, whether it's negative or it's positive. It's a reflection on me. So there is no way in hell that I would be proud to hear that my daughter was, singing such lyrics, and not because it would be her fault, because it'd be my fault. No child that young has the ability to go and hell, they couldn't even speak right or properly, I should say, because maybe they're just not there yet as far as communication wise. But they didn't go in and type in Sexy Red, Pound Town, or any of the other stuff. They didn't do that. That was, pumped into them. Like I said, I remember when I was a child, when my mama was talking with her friends, and you stop a little too long. First thing they say, get out my mouth. Keep going. Because you might have heard something that they were saying interesting in you. And they be like, get out my mouth. That means mind your business, right? So point that I'm making is, parents, there's a time where there was decency, right? They didn't do any and everything in front of the children. I mean, you got children now, they smell like weed because the parents smoking weed in the same room with them, the same car with them, and all that other stuff. Parents used to be discreet. They used to be discreet. We didn't know everything our parents was doing. As I put up a post the other day, I said, if Big Mama did, we never knew about it, because Big Mama was like, shoot, I might be a real freaky diggy. But that ain't your business. That's Big Mama business. Big Mama ain't all up on, it was no internet back then, but she wasn't all over the place telling people how she like it, who she like it with, and, talking all up under her clothes. And she even still had the decency and the common sense to shield her children from her degeneracy. Because I know a lot of times when we think about our big mamas, my big mama, she was upstanding. I don't know about y'all big mamas, but when we think about our big mamas, we think about them being deities, right? Oh no, my big mama, she never would. You just never knew about it. She didn't do all of those things in front of the children. She was like, okay, we're gonna wait till these little children go to sleep. Then I'm gonna bring over, Big Papa wannabe. We're gonna have us a brown.
Whenever the kids' party turned into the adult party after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, we're gonna break out the brown liquor drink and put on some BB King. And, all that other stuff. Then we're going to slow drag, but the kids ain't going to never see us do that stuff, right? We're going to put on cheating in the next room. But y'all, the kids ain't going to never hear that. But now everything flies like these babies just don't have a chance. And it really pisses me off. It really does.
I mean, and it's unfortunate. And I know people don't want to hear this because you just got to say it, though. A lot of these parents are being raised with their children. What do I mean by that? You got a lot of teen pregnancies, and it's across all the groups, of course. But the point is, these kids are having children, and you can't teach what you don't know. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, Big Mama is tired because she's working now because her teenage daughter got pregnant. So now she's got to go make more money and work extra hours to help her daughter raise a child. Plus her daughter's got to go to school and whatever. The whole process is just, it's just a terrible, terrible, vicious cycle that we don't seem to break. And then here we go again. When that child that is listening to Pound Town becomes of age and becomes physically mature, they end up pregnant at a young age in a lot of cases, and the cycle just keeps repeating itself. So
yeah, it's those, like I said, those babies don't have a chance. They got some dingbats for parents who just, like I'm one of those people. I can't stand to see children unprotected in any way, shape, or form. I do not care. I will tell you, I'm calling CPS on you if you don't change your behavior. I don't have a problem if I see you striking your child in public or talking to them crazy. I don't have a problem with saying something to you. I've never caught a case, but I'll be like, whenever I see it, today might be the day for me to catch a case. Because like I said, we really need to protect children. That is our duty. They're the most innocent things on this earth. And whenever we see them in harm's way, and believe it or not, children knowing those lyrics, that's harmful to them. Somebody like that teacher, she's probably a city girl herself, a sexy red fan, I don't know. But you would think that the last thing she would do is record that. Like if they were going to sing, maybe she thought they was going to sing ABCs or something, I don't know. But when you saw that they weren't singing that, you should have turned that off and say, okay, we got a larger problem here. My children are coming to school and they know those lyrics. I don't know. Maybe I should have a talk with the parents and say, hey, some nursery rhymes weren't available. You know what I mean? You can't teach them to count or whatever. So the fact that she thought that was okay, that's problematic to me. And it's like, well, what are you teaching these children? If you're spending, back in the day it was 3 or 4 hours in pre-K, but now it's all day. So they're spending all day with you. What are they learning from you?
Well, I also think it's a problem of society. We've gotten to a society to where we cannot criticize, we can't say anything to what's right. I'm not even going to say it to women or anything like that. To what's right, and how we think it. I mean, even if you're doing the wrong thing and what you're saying is wrong. Remember back in the day, like you might have a white person say something, their heart is in the right place, but they said it wrong. You know what I mean? And it's like, they want the same income, but we're in a society now to where you can't say anything. Oh, baby, just don't say nothing. You see this child is going down the wrong path and you rather not say nothing. How many examples have we shown to where you do gateway drugs, marijuana, but what is this new generation teaching their kids? Oh, ain't nothing wrong with a little weed. Yeah, a little weed back in Bob Marley's day. That was some natural stuff. Now they're lacing this stuff with fentanyl and just all this other stuff. But these kids are under the impression, oh, it ain't no big deal. It is a big deal. You're not motivated. In some cases, you get killed. Your brain gets fried. And the sad thing is, whenever I walk my dog out, and I don't care what type of neighborhood you think you're from, I don't care. You could be from the hood or you could be from an affluent area. When I go to the park, I see young families watching their kids play while they are sitting there smoking their weed in front of their children. That's where we're at today.
Yes, indeed. And Angela, congratulations on finally closing on your home. I am so happy for you, and we have missed you. So when you get all the way in your home, I'm sure you'll be here regularly. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, and I agree, Donovan. It's hard to say something. We feel like we've been put in a position where you can't say nothing because you're gonna get your head bit off. Don't tell me what to do. But see, I'm one of those type of people. It's like, well, you deal with me, or you gonna deal with the man, especially when it comes to children being harmed. I'm just that way, right? I've called CPS on people before, and they know I did it. I ain't no shame in my game, because I want you to know I did it, and I want you to know I'm gonna do it again if I see that you ain't moving right with these children, because these children, they deserve a fair chance. And I'm telling you, boy, the last time I saw a parent put their hand, I tell y'all about it, put their hand on a child in public. Wow, I thought I was going to jail that day. I did too. I was so mad. My daughter was like, oh my God, I thought you was going. Yeah, I said, I thought I was too. because I saw a mother, young mother. She smacked the mess out of her little boy. He couldn't have been no more than 2. She hit him so hard, and then he ran up under the little clothing rack, and he was crying, he was embarrassed. I said, don't you ever put your hands on him like that again. And her mama was with her, and they looked, and I was just wanting her to say something. I was ready to do the dance with her, but I had to let her know, I saw what you did, and that's inappropriate. Don't you ever put your hands on him like that. Got this little boy up under this clothing rack like you do it all the time. Nobody said anything. The lady was working at the store. She saw it. They didn't say nothing. My daughter, she already knew. Didn't say nothing. Her mama didn't say nothing. I was itching. I was itching to do the dance with her. She said something to me, but that pissed me off. So we got to stop being afraid of, saying something, because what happens is, we let the degenerates run society. Like, okay, if the mamas aren't going to take up, or the daddies aren't going to take up for the children, then, and we know the stuff is going on, we got to stop turning the blind eye. Well, child, you can't say nothing to them because they get mad. Oh, the hell, well, you just be mad with me. But guess what? If you get mad enough, then run up. That's the attitude we really got to have.
Hey, Demetri, did you get that Instagram video I sent to you earlier today? It was an episode of Good Times where Penny was running away and Chip Fields was acting and stuff. That was the quintessential video of getting involved when you have suspected that a child might be being abused or in a bad situation. So for you younger people that are younger than Demetri and myself, go watch Good Times. I believe it was season 5 when Malona was the star. Janet Jackson is in it. She plays a girl named Penny that was abused. That was a classic example of getting involved to the betterment for the child.
I didn't see it. I know you guys sometimes send me stuff on my inboxes. I rarely even go on my inboxes. Not really on social media as much unless I'm working, just so I can do other things in life. So I do apologize if y'all send me stuff.
But you've already seen it. You've seen that episode where Janet Jackson, was going through all that with and Chip Fields. Oh my God, unsung great actress. If you guys don't know who Chip Fields is, that is Kim Fields' mother. She was a dynamite actress in the 70s. Just unheralded. I'm sorry. She was awesome and beautiful.
She's great actress. Great actress. Yeah. So of course, hello there. How you doing? He says this is just all evidence of what we need to get back to. The village needs to be rebuilt, rehabilitated, and reintroduce Ashe. Yeah, absolutely. That's the key. We gotta stop being afraid. And Mr. Barr, how you doing? He says, though I have no children, I know what it is to be raised by true folk. Kindergartners address grown folks on a first name basis nowadays. It's a lack of discipline. I got my ass kicked when I was coming up. Yeah, I think we all did. Now I'm one of those people. I don't have any grandchildren yet or anything like that. But I'm one of those people is like, don't be hitting on those babies. I tell my nieces and nephews that they got babies. Well, when we was coming up, we got whoopings. It's like, yeah, y'all was different. Don't put your hands on the grandbabies, okay? Or, they my great nieces and nephews. Don't you be putting your hands on them. So I guess what I'm saying is, I got a couple of ass kickings too. When I was coming up, I was one of the light whoopings at all. So I didn't get many of them. But, I think we should try as best we can to parent with our minds and not our hands, right? Hitting somebody should be a last resort. Although, it does get your attention. If you get a good whooping, you probably don't want to do what you got the whooping for again. So, okay. Let's see here. I'm going to open up the link. I just want to get to these comments because I know y'all got something to say. So, of course, for the sake of time, we want to be brief. And again, don't come up here if you really ain't got nothing to add to the conversation that's pertinent. Sister Pamela, how you doing? I hope all is well with you. It says exactly, Sister Demetri, what kind of teacher is that? She needs to be fired and the parents are unfit. Oh, yes, unfit like a mug. Kubler, you say, I regret not calling CPS on a few parents. Those kids are now growing and doing awful. Yeah, like if they don't want to straighten up, it's like, so what do we do? I ain't going to say nothing. I don't want to put the man on them or whatever the case is. It's like, well, then the kid's going to end up in a worse situation or, something like that. So sometimes it's just the last resort and we got to do what we got to do. And, it wasn't something I was proud to do, but I'm like, yeah, I called and okay. You know what I mean? Moni says, I think CPS need to remove children from homes where the parents are allowing this type of language in their homes while not making children learn how to read and do math properly. But you got time for trash. So that kind of stuff, maybe, I don't know if they need to be removed. I think that somebody needs to talk to them I think it is abusive. Now, listen, I know that CPS system is not a system for us, but it's like, do we want the kids harmed, or do we like, what are we doing here? So I don't know. It's just a jacked up situation, really, to put anybody into. But I'm gonna rule on the side of the children all day long, and I don't have any regrets about doing it. Tigger says they are smoking weed and playing that music while kids are playing. Yeah, and then you got some parents that grow up, the kids grow up and they smoking weed together. So it's like, at what point, when do you become the authority figure? Like, there's certain things that we as adults still don't do in the presence of our parents. We just don't, right? As a grown woman, there's certain things I'm not going to do in the presence of my dad that maybe I would do. And I'm not saying it's bad, but there should still be that line of demarcation where you have respect. But you got parents that are smoking weed with the kids, they're clubbing with the kids, and, doing all of that stuff. So where is the line of, little girl, I'm still your mama? I don't care if you are 30, I'm still your mama. You know what I mean? There's certain things you gonna do and you're not gonna do. So, my daughter and I, we have a really good relationship. We joke around a lot and stuff like that. But she know when I'm serious. You know what I mean? And then, we get back on that mother-daughter playing field, even though she's a fully grown woman. I am too, but there's still that level of, okay, that's my mama. Let me go on and pipe down a little bit for be some problems up in here. So yeah, there's certain, I'm just not one to just be doing certain things with my child. One thing we really ain't gonna be doing is, be, passing, passing together. Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that really bothers me, especially in the Black community, I just get pissed off when I hear it. It's the stupidest thing when I hear. You guys remember Whitney Houston and her daughter, Bobby Christina? They did that interview, I think, on Good Morning America. Oh, my mom is my best friend. That shows me Whitney failed as a mother. Whitney failed as a mother. We know we have parents and stuff, and yeah, we're adults and stuff like that. But even at my age, at 53, I am not friends with my mom. I am not friends with my grandparents. That is the stupidest thing when I hear it. And you hear it a lot between a mother and daughters. Oh, me and my mom are best friends. There's a friend of mine I saw on YouTube a couple months ago. She's partying with her kids at a club. That's the mentality that we have out there. I don't want to be in a club with my kids. I don't care how old they are. If we're at an event, that's one thing. But if I'm about to get my club on, I don't want to see my kids and what they do, and they don't want to see what I do. And we've got to establish that line. But it just seems to me between mother and daughter, when the daughter always, here's the problem when especially when the daughters say that, because you hear it more between women. If the daughter's out there thotting it up and the mother doesn't say nothing, 4 times out of 10, the mother's thotting it with the daughter. That's why there's no correction. The older women are competing with the younger women. That's why when you do finally wake up and want to correct your child, they look at you as a peer. And so we got to get back to the demarcation of our roles in society. There's nothing wrong with being an older person. And yeah, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, a grandfather, whatever the deal is. And having honor in that. I definitely don't want to be associated with what these kids are doing today. I don't want to be associated with that.
Yeah, and in the same vein, you got a lot of fathers that's puff passing with the children too, So yeah, there just needs to be that. But that's and I say our as parents, I'm saying it collectively, our faults as parents, to where we stop demanding respect. There's certain things you're not gonna do with me. I can tell you all the time. My mom and her friend, they went to the local juke joint. Me and my friend, we thought we was 19, I think we could get in. We walked up in there because it wasn't nothing really happening. We was like, let's go to the place. That was the name of it. My mom and her friend was in there, and she looked, and she was like, one of us is going to be leaving. And guess who it ain't going to be? And I left. She's like, you're not going to be up in here. Not that they were, it's a juke joint. They're not doing nothing bad, but that's what her spot was. And she let me know, you ain't going to be up in here with me partying together. Nah. And me and my friend Michi, we walked on out of there and found something else to do. But she let it be known there's just certain things we're not going to do together. And I hate that for us in society now, to where anything goes with the children. You know, like my daughter's in Los Angeles right now. You know, she does what she does. She's 30, whatever. But one time she invited me to go hang out with her and her friends. I was like, no, I'm not going to be hanging out with you and your friends. You know, y'all are a lot younger than me, and there's nothing that we have in common to be hanging out. Now I know all of her friends, we cool and stuff like that. You know, we speak and stuff, but it's not necessarily that it's inappropriate for us to hang out. We just don't have any common ground, and I still need to have that level of matriarchy in your life. And so, thank y'all for thinking of me, but I just don't want to hang out with y'all little girls. Y'all go have fun, you know. So, yeah, there's certain things that we just, I don't know, we shouldn't be doing. So anyway, I'm gonna open up the link. If you guys want to come on and have a quick word for the sake of time, you guys want to talk about something that we talked about. And the other subject, maybe I'll talk about on Tuesday. Just ran out of time. And I want to give it a little bit more research before we talk about it too. MCP says people don't even want to be called mama or sir anymore. I still respect my elders. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Easy. Appreciate that. Yeah, we just have to demand that, right? We have to demand that respect. You know, you don't want somebody to call you by your first name. And I don't think it's appropriate either. Have little kids talking about Barbara. Hey, Barbara, you better put a miss or something in front of it, you know, but yeah, but those are the things we just need to teach, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like my mom. If you can't call her Miss Malloyd, it's Miss Wanda. You know, that's a Southern thing when they use the first name, I guess, and you know, but that's the respect part of it.
Yeah, but you know, you sit up and that's because most people that are younger than me, they'll call me Miss D, and they've been calling me that for a long time, even when I was not so old. You know, calling me Miss D. You know, that's okay. That doesn't bother me. I like it or whatever. But yeah, you know, we should teach our children to have a little bit more respect. And if they're not taught that, then yeah, they gonna do what they think is best. So we need to go back to those things. So I'll put the link in there again. Only click the link if you have something pertinent and quick to add to the conversation that we've had, either about KeKe or about this video that I just showed with the kids. And Michael, you said, why were the children's faces blurred out? Because they're children, and they didn't have any say so to as to whether they wanted to be on the internet or anything like that. So while we're talking about the subject, I just am not want to show children's faces, because one day they'll grow up and they might be highly upset that some idiot decided to upload them being children on the internet. So that doesn't leave them any redemption. So I know that a lot of people have showed the videos of the children's faces. I just choose not to do that. And as you guys may or may not know, I don't show my daughter a lot, maybe on her birthday, and she has to pick the picture. You know what I mean? So if she wants to be on here, whatever, that's something she does on her own, because I feel like she should have her own say so in her own life. She wants to be on here, she great. If she don't, I'm not going to force that on her, because I'm one of those people. I don't like when people put pictures on the internet of me either, or videos without my permission. Because first of all, you might not have got my good side. You know what I mean? So that's why I did not show the children's faces. Hey, JJ, how are you doing? Facts Not Feeling says it still pains me how Whitney died. She was gorgeous. She had a voice that when she sang Angels in Heaven were in awe. Yeah, that was a shock. I remember I was in Jacksonville celebrating a friend's birthday at the time, and it came over the airwaves that Whitney died. And we was like, what? Now Whitney? I mean, it was complete total shock. And I'm like you. I think about Whitney often. Because when you see Whitney and a lot of these videos, you're like, wow, Whitney really had a sense of humor. And you learn to love her and Bobby together, because people painted Bobby out to be the bad guy. And it wasn't him, but he talks about it a lot. He said he just chose not to go against that, because at the end of the day, he loved Whitney, and he did not want to put her in a bad light, even though he was put in a bad light. He speaks about it now. But, you know, he was like, I know I could have tried to speak up to defend myself, but it was like, oh, well, that's what they want to put on me, whatever. But I'm not going to take part in demonizing her. So,
and that's good on his part. That's his baby mama. See, a lot of us got to understand that when you demonize the other parent, that does not make you look good no matter what you say. Like I said, in the situation of KeKe Palmer, and people call him the guy Dusty, whatever. At the end of the day, if this man's a Dusty, what's that saying about her?
Absolutely. Hey, Patty, how you doing? Did you want to blank your face out? It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. You're on mute.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't look my best. I'm
No,
doing
you
laundry, so
look wonderful. Stop it.
Natural beauty.
Thank you.
Sisters have natural beauty. Y'all don't
Thank
need no
you.
weave. Y'all don't need no makeup. Trust me. Y'all can go and get it without all that foolishness.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to add, a quick note. I'm an early child education teacher, so I see that a lot, and I don't work in a predominantly African American neighborhood or Caucasian. Those are my kids in the background.
No worries.
Yeah, so I see that a lot. I see children coming in, even Hispanic children, like, singing, certain lyrics from like reggaeton and stuff like that, or, or the, Sexy Red, or all this just inappropriate lyric. And for me, personally, when it's something like a bad word and things like that, things that are like inappropriate, they don't know what they're saying, right? So I usually, I'll talk to the parent at dismissal or even early morning when they're dropping off and just have a conversation. Hey, I've noticed so and so, not in front of other parents, of course, give them privacy and just explain to them. And to some of them, don't even realize, that like they're listening to this music in the car and, and they don't realize that the kids, because children are sponges, I know this obviously because I'm educated in that field. But yes, I just try to, talk to the parents. So far, I haven't really come across a parent who's simply like, oh, I don't care, I'm doing this. And everyone has been very like, receptive to what I'm telling them. So, and also we work DOE school, so we work with social workers. So sometimes I'll have like the social worker come in and do like a Zoom meeting or do like for all the parents about like the effects of what's that called, like media, iPads and things like that, and how we should monitor the children and how much is okay for them to watch, etc. So we do that stuff too. So that's all.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that we had somebody with some expertise come on here and educators. Yeah, because that's important to know. And like you said, most times if you talk to the parents, they're not combative,
Yes.
So that's good to know because can you imagine? They're like, you don't tell me what to do, my child.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I'm in New York City as well. I'm in New York City. So yeah, so it's not like I'm like in, like a little prim and proper air. Not to say that New York City is not prim and proper. You know what I mean?
I know
I'm
what
with,
you mean.
Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Patty, for coming
Great.
on here.
Great
Bye-bye.
input. Great input.
Thank you.
Michael Pan, what you got on the conversation, man?
How you guys doing today?
I knew he was gonna click the link. What's on your mind, brother?
Actually, I actually clicked the link kind of last. I want to see who's gonna go first before I offer rebuttal or reply. That's my strategy usually.
Oh well, we don't need you to rebuttal. We just need you to.
I mean, not rebuttal. What I meant to say is like reply later, then offer my response. Sorry. So I just want to make this quick about Kiki Palmer, and then I'm gonna go to something that's related towards the end. So in the comment section, I mentioned that when you, Demetrius, when you mentioned earlier about believing men and women, right? And that like who's being honest, like who, like in terms of who's being honest and who's not. I said this. I believe men if they have good evidence, that their evidence is like physical, circumstantial. I'll believe them. And same thing with women. If their claim has circumstantial evidence or there's good evidence to indicate that it's valid. In terms of like who harmed me, who this, because both men and women, they do a good job of manipulating the situation very well. It's just that women, they're more covert about it, whereas men, they tend to be more overt when it comes to how they feel. So I just see it how how things go like how things go similarly, but they go in different ways. And unfortunately, this court system doesn't believe in men. 90% of the time, they're always going to side with women. 90% of the time, even if the evidence is there, even men have good evidence to say that my partner, she's not good for my children, it's not good for me. And it's so sad that the courts don't use scientific evidence. They should, because if they just rely on people's words, the words can be twisted from different angles. So I really think that the circumstantial physical evidence need to be considered before granting custody, before taking extreme measures.
Well, Where they uh, so yeah, but with a restraining order, a lot of times, and a lot of times they're not granted, but a lot of times they are granted because they need to, rule on the side of, for right now, we're gonna take your word for it, but you need to come back in here and back up those allegations during
Right.
a restraining order is an emergency hearing. But when you bring you back, if for you to lay the evidence out, that's when they really make a permanent ruling. So I'm not mad at the restraining order issue. I know sometimes people get on the wrong side of it, and they have a restraining order put on them erroneously, but then they have to go back and back it up. So that's why they do that, because what if he did do those things? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So they have to make sure that
right.
the child and the person that's making the petitioner rather
Mhm.
is protected. So
Because I have right. I know a situation. I know one of my friend and his wife, both of them working. Unfortunately, the court issued him to pay child support, even though he was the one who filed for divorce. Usually, if the person who files for divorce, it's supposed to be the woman paying child support to the man who filed for divorce.
not necessarily though, Michael. And that's why I was saying too,
Yeah.
for people to come up here with a little bit of firsthand knowledge, because you can file for custody or divorce or whatever and still be on the other end of paying child support if you're making more money. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of things that go into that. And a lot of times, often it's unfair,
It
but they
is
have,
unfair.
but they have standards and guidelines that they are supposed to adhere to. That's what they
Mhm.
say anyway. So it's not just, oh, well, even though you file, we're going to make you pay child support. They usually look at numbers and custody
Mhm.
percentages and that kind of stuff. So it's not just, in a lot of cases, it's not supposed to be arbitrarily off of what the judge wants. So,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then let me add to this real quick. Also, Demetra knows, we've all been through the court system and all this other stuff. Uh, Sometimes, the first one of the things the judge will ask both parties: how much time are you spending with the child? And I used to tell all my troops in the military, the more time you spend with the child, it's more than likely your child support will go down. But you got to show and have the receipts to show that you're spending that time.
And when you say receipts, are you talking about like like letters, like pictures?
Or if you need to do that, but you got to be able to prove that the
Mhm.
time that you're alleging is factual. If you got witnesses or somebody that can vouch for you, whatever you need to do when you go into court, especially in a child support situation. For those of us that have been through it, I'm telling you, you better come with every receipt you can as a man. That's the bottom line. If you ain't got it, your case will just fall apart.
Right. And
right.
I know Don, you're not gonna like the last thing that I'm gonna say as you and I were exchanging conversations about saving people. So be prepared for this. Prepare for this controversial thing I'm
Notice my
about to
picture
say.
behind me now. I want you to notice. No, Neil, go ahead.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be controversial. I just want to let you know up front because I know you're gonna dislike what I'm gonna say, which is fine. So about saving. So I'll tell you this. I'm a social worker who work with young people. And I know from your generations, that's with Gen X, baby boomers, you guys were taught to say like saying is the best way to get people to listen, to behave. And I'll tell you from my experience, when I try to say, young clients, to behave this way, do a certain way, it doesn't work with millennials and Gen Z. And I'll tell you why. Because millennials and Gen Z, they understand their boundaries very well and they know who they're interacting with. Maybe like when they're young, it's okay to shame them because they don't know better. Yes, but when they're adults, I mean, we may not agree what they do later in life, but if you want to discipline them or shame them, I think it's better is like get the facts first, understand why they did this way or did that way. You may not agree what they did, but try to understand, and then maybe talk to them in a talk to them in a right but also aggressive way because that'll get them to listen, be more motivated because it has to do with attachment theory, right? Because when you tell them that this or that no, my way is only works, but then if you don't offer experience why my way works,
Well, let me say this to you, Michael. Because I have raised, I
yeah,
think I think I got a little bit experience under my belt, and I
right.
have, and I've dealt with children, so I
I
get
don't
what you're
dispute with
saying.
that. I don't.
Huh?
Oh, I said I don't dispute the fact that you raised your
No,
daughter.
no,
I
no,
don't
no. So
dispute
what I'm
that.
saying is
Right.
this. So I hear what you're saying as far as, yeah, you gotta, I don't believe in talking at children per se. I don't think that's I don't think that should be the go-to all the time. But I am from the generation of I said what the hell I said. Okay.
Yes.
Oftentimes I don't owe you an explanation. Now if we can have a conversation about whatever it is I said. If I gave you a directive, it's okay. It's not, well, I really feel like and I want to do. See, that in a lot of other people's societies and even sometimes in ours, it's, well, I just don't understand why Johnny doesn't listen, because you ain't put a foot to his ass. That's why he ain't listening. You know what I'm saying? So I get all that, and especially when it ain't your children, I get you got to have different approaches and things like
Because
that.
I work in the school. You do understand I work in the
I
school
listen. I
system
worked
as
in the
social
school.
worker.
I worked in the school system too, boo boo. I ain't new to this. I trust me.
Right.
I've been around. I've been around children, and
Mm-hmm.
even then, sometimes you got to let them know I'll be your huckleberry. Now, of course, you ain't gonna put your hands on them, but a lot of times we run around pussyfooting. Y'all thought I was gonna say something else, pussyfooting with these children, and then they end up taking the reins, and then they just taking control. And gotta remember, children don't have the wherewithal to take control. But
Right.
unfortunately, we as adults, we cede control to them, and then they run rampant, and then we have a society of lawlessness going on. But like I said, I'm from the old school, and I love the children. My nieces and nephews, my daughter, they love me because I can be silly too. But they also know, don't make me come to your school. And I tell my nieces and nephews now that are still in school, oh honey, I ain't but a 2.5, 3 hour plane ride away. I will hop on Spirit. Okay? I hop on Spirit and I'll be at your school that morning, and we gonna walk hand in hand through your school until you rearrange your understanding. See what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. And let me just add for me, I understand where you're going with it, Mike, being a millennial, but I don't care if what's after millennial.
Gen Z. You have generations. Generation Z is
No,
more
I'm X, Z, millennial.
millennial,
What's
and
after
then Gen
millennial?
Z. Then it's Generation Z. It's Generation Z after millennial. Trust me.
And what'd you
No,
say?
no, it isn't X, Z.
No. It's Gen Z after millennials because it's Gen X. So
He's
baby
right.
boomers first,
Okay, okay.
Gen
Well,
X,
what's after the
Or
and
millennial?
why?
then
Or
Gen
why?
Z. Well, why is
So,
millennial? Same
Yeah, that's what
thing.
I'm saying. So
okay,
millennials
so
or why?
what's after the last group that's in existence
It's
right
really
now?
Generation Z from what I know so far.
All right, generation. I don't give a damn.
Right.
Okay, don't give a damn. I said what I said. I don't negotiate with children. You're gonna do what I say, and you want to know why? Because I'm the damn adult. Period. That's how I raise it, and never had a problem. Guess what? My kids are doing fine.
Yeah. Well, that's up to. That's true. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting what you did was right. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it works to a certain a point. But however, it's not gonna work. It may work in certain situations, but it's not gonna work in other situations. So it's really about a balance, the way I see it. Because when I used to work with ID populations, individuals of intellectual disabilities, they were 18 and over. And for me to try to shame them, discipline them, and of course, I had to be firm with them, of course, but there were boundaries that I had to be careful about saving them. Otherwise, I would have gotten in trouble and be fired from my job because adult protective services would have gotten involved, and then I had to write what happened, write a statement, and then it's going to go into investigation. So
Well, I mean, we get it. We know you, as your hands are tied in certain instances. But I think what I'm saying is, if parents get their children before they get to you, then
yeah,
you can be about the business of educating and working with them. You ain't got to be at the business of stop, sit down, be quiet. Don't you know? If we do our job at home, and
mhm.
Queen E, you say that this is what causes young boys to hate women. What exactly are you talking about? Are you talking about what I said? I don't know any young boy, and I don't know if you're talking to me, but any young boy that I know hate me. Hell, my nephew love me. All of my nephews, well, maybe some of them, but
Yeah,
most of them, they love me. They call me and all that other stuff. And so, what discipline makes? I don't know. I don't want to jump the gun, but is that what you're saying? Discipline makes young boys hate women. Now, if we talk about women who are, I know there's cases where sometimes mamas are abusive verbally to children and all that other stuff. But nah, I'm no nonsense when it comes to doing what I say do. I don't care if you're a boy, girl, cat, dog, frog. you're gonna do what I said do. We're not gonna negotiate, especially if I gave you a directive, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna make me mad, and then you're not gonna want to see the other side of that. And then, yeah, you can ask anybody I've raised. I rarely even have to put my hands on them because I think your stance and your voice and you being authoritative should be enough. But I was never, when I say never, I was never a punk when it came to no children. My heart never pumped no Kool-Aid to no child, and it never will.
Yeah. Because there's another situation where I had an ID participant who stole something from the school, and I had to be really really careful how to tell the participant to return the stuff he allegedly stole, and it was very challenging. And of course, I didn't want to get my hands on him because otherwise it'll be considered like assault. Even though I didn't touch him physically, but I was trying to get him to return the stuff. So that's why it's very challenging. Really, it depends on the situation. Are you working, especially coming from a social worker point of view, child protect from a child I'm sorry, from a child support assistant point of view, and adults as well. And the age also matters too, because with ID populations, you could shame them all you want, all you can. With them, you have to communicate them differently because their developmental age is not at the chronological age that we expect people to be at. Developmental, there's a developmental and developmental stages.
But again,
I mean, I understand. I
no,
hear you about
I hear
disciplining
what
them.
you're
I hear
saying,
you.
but that's on the parents to send your child to school. And I'm not talking about if they have some organically,
Yeah,
going on with them, like special needs. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the kids that just need a little stern talking to, a little knot snatched up into them. Let me tell you something, Junior Flip. You go to school and you do what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, I'm gonna come up there. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
that's how I was brought up. I was in fear of my parents coming up to the school because that was told to us. If you acting up there, we gonna show up, and you don't want your mama and daddy all up at school with you. None of that other stuff. That's not cool, right? You'll never live it down. So that was just one of the reasons why I behaved. But
But
yeah, I've been up.
sometimes, yeah. But you never know. Sometimes the kids can be telling the truth, and sometimes parents don't want to hear it because they always give the teachers 90% of the time. So that's
Of course, but
I do understand where parents are
yeah,
coming from. Yes, I do understand why they get upset because what the teachers told them, but also it's taken into context, analyzing why this kid behaved, what caused him to behave this way. Because we're always going to blame the individual without taking the environment into context. Because I've seen a lot with so many of my clients before as a social worker and working with individuals with intellectual disabilities when I had to show up to court to testify. Unfortunately, I didn't want to testify because that's not my area of expertise, and I don't feel comfortable testifying in front of a judge, a lawyer.
well, yeah, like
Yeah,
Anita said, we're not talking about special need population. Of course, we know that that's a
I
different
know,
set
but
of
I'm saying like
circumstances.
but I'm saying like there are times that when you have to discipline special needs populations because they can't distinguish what's right and what's wrong when it comes to behavior. Because I've seen it so many times working with them from a frontline perspective.
Right.
I mean, of course. I mean, of course, of course, you want to be primitive, of course, but you also want to be very, very careful how you communicate with them while standing your ground.
Yeah, totally, Michael. I totally get it.
Yeah,
But as I said, of course, we know children have issues, but I think a lot of the issues are, children are not getting that tough love or even just
right.
discipline at home. And listen, my sister's a school teacher, and
Mhm.
she's only 3 years at this point off of retirement, and every day she's like, I can't do this no more. 3 years. She got 3 years till she
Baby,
Wow.
hold on to
retires.
it. Baby, hold on to that 3 years. We need that retirement, baby.
Yeah, but she's like, I don't know if I can do it every day. Once a week, this child calls me talking about I don't know if I can do it because
Mhm.
she's not dealing with the set of children that she was dealing with almost 30 years ago. This is a whole
Right.
different child. I think they
Totally
must have dropped
different. I
down.
get it.
Yeah, they must have dropped down from Mars or something. I don't know. But my sister ain't no punk either. But she's like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, well, then check out early, but don't let it take you to an early grave because a lot of her issues are the parents,
Mhm.
right? They send
Right.
their children to school wayward, and then the parents be like, why are you talking to my child? Like all that other shit, the juice ain't just worth the squeeze no more sometimes.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of teachers are leaving the teaching profession in higher droves, especially young ones. They rather just be an education consultant and make six-figure salary, and I had to deal with students who can't, behave in a professional setting.
Yeah, and Anita says that special education educator that has dealt with different children to mild to severe. There are levels and protocols that are in place. Most of the time, the behaviors are coming from home.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, parents they're like, all right, it's time for you to go to school, and they make the teacher the disciplinary, the parent, the teacher, and it's just the teacher ain't they're not there for all of that. They're there to instruct your child educationally, and they got to tell Johnny and Susie to be quiet and sit down. Give me your phone. Get off all of that. You know what I mean? So.
But I'll guarantee you this: if they get more social workers involved, trust me, social workers are trained to de-escalate the situation because they have a protocol how to de-escalate, especially with students who are very severe, who have challenging issues. But unfortunately, we don't utilize that because a lot of schools and states are cutting budgets for social services. So that's putting a lot of pressure and strain on teachers to be, or I should say, to have a versatile role. And I know a lot of teachers, they're not trained to be versatile in a difficult situation. So that's why social workers are essential.
Because they're not supposed to be. Teachers aren't supposed to be trained to be
Right.
versatile with, and I'm not
Right.
talking about the children with
Police.
special needs. I'm talking about
Exactly.
they're not trained to be versatile with your badass child. That ain't
Right.
their job. They trained to give them curriculum, instruct them on the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, whatever. That's their job. Their job ain't to be, because my sister don't have no children of her own. So she don't want, last thing she want to do is go punch in and be like, okay, I'm gonna have to say 50, 11 times to people, kids, sit down, put your phone away, don't do that, stop cussing, stop. She don't want to do that. My sister's a math teacher, so she want to be here. This is what you do, and I don't know nothing about no math, but she want to teach them that, right? She don't want to be disciplining them. That's not what she wants to do.
And your sister, does she teach students who are in general education, or she has a general education?
General education.
Okay, but she didn't have one student who had not one student had a behavior issue, not even one. I'm just curious.
I mean, behavior issues.
Oh, she's had several.
Yeah, I mean, and my sister teaches what you would call the inner city per se. If Jacksonville has an inner city, whatever that's,
yeah, country city, yeah, it's
I don't want
city.
Urban area. Let's say that.
Urban area.
Yeah. She teaches in the urban area, so y'all could take for what y'all want with that. And like I said, 30 years ago, my sister wasn't having the issue she's having now, but now it's just, I mean, the poor woman is like, I can't do this no more. Like I said, my sister's tough as nails. She really is, but she's just like, the hell wrong with these children? I mean, that like some of the stuff that she tells me about is like, for real? Like she said, one time she had a parent and she was mad at the administration because they allowed the teacher to make it the parent to make it all the way to her classroom wearing damn near negligee. And she opened up the door. My sister teaches like 5th grade and under. She opened up the door and somebody mama standing there with a goddamn negligee on. And so she said, she told the mama, you gonna have to go up on a classroom like that. And so she goes to the office and said, why did y'all let her back here? She couldn't have got back here during school hours without y'all letting her back here. Y'all didn't see what this lady had on. I got a whole classroom full of kids and she coming up here damn near naked. And so, but then she gets pushed back for having to say so while she was just coming to get her kid. I don't care why she was coming up in here. She came up in here dressed inappropriately. So she's having those back and forth with the administration, the silly parents thinking they should go up to an elementary school dressed like that. So it's just, I can see why teachers, and in Texas, they said that parents are now teachers are being admonished because they're taking more days off. They're, the principals are saying, well, you took some days off, and the teacher's like, I earn these days. It ain't your business why I ain't here. I earn these days. But they know that, as we know throughout the nation, they're having a shortage of teachers, and the teachers that are already there are like, listen, I need a day off. I need a mental break. You know what I mean? And so they have been calling all these subs. In California, they're paying subs $250 a day just to say, your teacher left you some work. Go ahead and open a book. And if y'all have any questions, bring me, I'll help you. Anita, what's going on with you? Long time no see.
Hey, so I just wanted to, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, sister.
I just kind of wanted to jump in in this conversation, kind of in defense of educators, because educators do deal with a lot. And as somebody that is currently in special education, I deal with elementary and middle school. And I've dealt with, and I have a background in behavior, and I've dealt with several levels. So I've dealt from mild to moderate to severe. And the only thing that I can say is basically the behaviors are coming from home. You're going to have to, and the thing that nobody is pointing out either is that these kids were at home with their parents for the last 3 years, and they come back to school, and it seems like that they're worse than where before COVID happened. So I can't see, and I have a counselor slash social worker at my school. And the problem is that the social worker goes to the defense of the student instead of coming and consulting with me as to what has happened. So that's the problem. So I understand, and I understand that, some teachers, I'm a little bit unique because I have a background in behavior, but you can't just put that jacket on and say, oh, well, the schools would be better if there were social workers or if the teachers did this. No, as a whole, for the teachers that are there and the teachers that are showing up, I would say people need to show the teachers a little bit more grace. And number two, these kids are coming in crazy. They coming in crazy. Okay. And it's basically the teachers are burnt out. So the kids are running the school. The districts are scared. The district is scared of the school. The school is scared of the parents. The teachers are scared of the parents. And the kids ain't scared of nobody. So then what? I don't feel like the situation is going to get better with social workers or anything like that. It's just overall, everybody as a collective coming together and reining in your kid. And yeah, it has to get to a point. And I've had conversations with parents too, where they're like, oh, you can't say that. And that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But this is what little Tommy, little Johnny, little Jill is doing. So when little Tommy, little Jill, and little Bobby get sent down to the principal and they get locked out of my class, this is what's going to happen. Or I tell the students, and the students, I'll give you a good example. My middle school students, I try all that gentle teaching, like, have that gentle parenting thing. And then one day, my middle school teacher, they came in, they just mumbling and all that. So I let them have it, period. I was like, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know why you feel entitled that adults are going to come in here and put up with your bull, but not in Miss Anita's class. However you act outside this hallway, that's how you act. But when you step foot in my classroom, you don't behave a certain way. And I ran down everything. And guess what? They come in like little soldiers. Hi, Miss Anita. How you doing? They speak. They do their work. They sit there and they're compliant. So I can't completely get behind that whole theory of the whole gentle teaching. Again, I dealt with kids that were severe. And it's not even about dictating to them, it's setting up boundaries and structures and sticking with them. It's not even about, oh, you're going to do what I say. Yeah, you're going to do what I say, or this is the consequences. And there's no boundaries, there's no support, and there are no structures in place for the kids. And that's all I have to say.
And you know what, though, Anita, you're absolutely right. Because like I said, my sister's a teacher and she loves, teaching, but she hasn't loved it in the last couple of years because just like you said, you hit the nail on the head. Where's the support system for the teacher? Where is their backing? They got and I know I'm preaching to the choir with, you and Michael, but y'all got to fight the principal, other administrators, and
The
y'all get
union,
brought up on all of that. Y'all get brought up on a bogus charge. The
school board.
says you did this, that, and then it's like, well, y'all believe in all this stuff, but where's my support? But then y'all mad when the teacher stops showing up. It's like, oh, we having a teacher shortage. You want to talk about why you're having a teacher shortage? Or are you just going to keep glossing over the fact that the teachers are abused?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me add to this. If you guys notice behind me, this woman right here is my mama. That is on her last deployment in Iraq in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys notice I always say there's a difference between military people and the way we think versus civilians. You know, where civilians are like this. Let me tell you guys something, and Michael and Anita said this, sternness, this, that, this, right? The military is very structured. Everything is structured. Everything that I did as a child affected my mom's career. So guess what? If I ain't acting right and doing the stuff that I'm supposed to do, there's going to be consequences when I get home. Thus, there wasn't too many problems that my mom had to deal with when it came to discipline and what I was supposed to do as a child growing up. That is why, you know, and you guys that are civilians, I get it. I understand you guys grew up where you could kind of do things and it was no big deal. But this is why you see such a dramatic black and white with me when it comes to certain things. I don't operate in gray area because dealing with a mother as like that, she wasn't going to lose rank, time, and money over my foolishness. And I think that if more parents, not in a military aspect, but would be more stern and stop trying to be so damn friendly with their damn kids, it would make a difference in the classroom, and spend the time that you need to spend allotted with your children to make that next assignment. It would be a lot easier. But you know what? Parents ain't doing that anymore. It's all about, oh, well, my life, this, that, this. And that's the difference. But, you know, it's funny. I put the picture up because yesterday was Veterans Day. And when I was a kid, people used to tease me at Norte Vista. Well, they didn't really tease me, but, you know, you make that joke, your moms wear combat boots. I was like, yeah, doesn't everybody's mom? That was my world. You know, everybody's mom, everybody was in the military, whatever it was. But a very stern woman, and look at the results. She didn't take no shit. She had 2 boys. Yeah, she didn't take no shit. And it was what it does, because I knew what I did reflected her. It reflected her. So she didn't really have too much problem. You know, I'm not saying I was perfect. Yeah, I did school? Yeah, I did school. I did all kinds of stuff. But it wasn't to the detriment of my family name and what my mom's career was. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And let me say this, and Shaniqua, I do want to acknowledge that as well. It's not always the student. Sometimes it is the teacher, and, you know, doing things to the children that they're not supposed to do. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I do know of cases like that, where students were doing what they're supposed to be doing, and for whatever reason, the teacher didn't like them, whether it was racism or whatever, right? They were adverse to the student. So that definitely does need to be acknowledged.
Yes. And add on to what Sunika Ryan was saying, Don was saying, and also, you know, the fact that white teachers and social workers are not supported. It's actually both. And Anita was right that yes, the social workers should not only advocate for students because this is right, but also teachers. I agree. And the problem is that in our education system in America, because I study policy, my background is in community policy practice and administration. So I'm going to talk from a systematic point of view.
Well, be quick, because
I'm making it quick. I'm making it quick. Right.
Yeah, because we don't need the whole down about the system, Michael. I just, you know.
Oh, I know. It does relate.
Wait, brother,
Oh,
wait.
Sorry. I'm getting a little too excited. I
I
apologize.
know, it's all right. It's all right. You get excited. It's okay. But yeah, so we don't have to get into the whole context, and we actually run over time. I actually want to bring Brother Don up real quick, so he can quickly give us his point of view. He in his studio. He got everything going on. How you doing, brother? I got to unmute yourself.
Hey, sis. Hey, Brother Donovan. I was really disturbed by the video with the children because of my experience in the music industry and understanding those things. You know, I said the community needs to bring those parents up on child abuse and handle it, because they're going to ruin those children's lives. See, that music, it operates at a low vibration, and the low vibration has your way of thinking basically in the gutter. And so when you're hearing those lyrics, they're very suggestive. Now, music that tends to vibrate at a higher vibration, that's where your intelligence, where that's stimulated, and your creativity and things of that nature. So I just wanted to say, music is very important. What you listen to is very important. That music is very crafted, and it's crafted to yield a result. And the result that we saw from the music that came in the 80s after the consciousness music, the result that we saw was overpopulated prisons. And music was part of the program that was put together to institute slavery 2.0. So, be very conscious, because with children, more is caught than taught. At the same time, no child wants to live in a cage, but they do require fences. And I'm gonna land there.
Absolutely. I heard your phone ringing there. Al, something wrong with you. There just definitely needs to be, parents got to start being parents again. We need the village approach. I know we've talked about the village, but it does take a village to raise a child. I tell my brothers and sisters, well, my sister doesn't have any children, that, yeah, y'all the parents, but it's going to take all of us to raise them, right? And I tell them, even in California, I don't care what time it is, y'all having an issue, y'all need to talk to somebody, y'all call me. And they've called me all times of night or whatever. It don't necessarily have to be anything bad. It could be something that somebody just needs to talk. Call me so we could work it out, because I guess technically now I'm kind of like the matriarch of the family. So, because my mom has passed on. So I wear that role with pride. And I know that the things that I do, people are watching me, and so I have to move accordingly. So it's not always easy to be in that role. But as they say in a nation can rise no higher than this woman. And, for me, and I'm speaking about me, kind of being a matriarch of the family, we have to be careful of the things that we do and say, the things that we wear, and, all of that, because you got the younger ones that are coming up and they're watching you. And so we got to be careful to set an example. But yeah, like Donovan said, we have to be stern as well. But I'm also one of those people, along with being stern, we got to be loving too, because a lot of times children, they don't get the love and they don't get the positive reinforcement. They only get the attention when they're being bad per se, or they're doing something negative. Then they get all of that. You ain't this and you ain't that, they get all of that. But we also need to make a habit of praising them. Hey, Johnny, you did a great job today. Oh, that was a great game you played in, or thank you for being a great student this semester and bringing home, and I know, listen, everybody ain't gonna be no straight A student, right? But if your student is at least, passing, I know, you need to be getting an A, but maybe they're not an A student. But because they're not an A student, that don't mean that they're a bad student. They might have to take out some student loans, to go to college. They might not be getting a scholarship or whatever, but they need to get positive reinforcement too. You know what? Getting straight A's would probably be all right, be the best, but you're passing, right? You're getting some C's, you're getting some B's, maybe one D. All right. If that was that your best? Yeah, that was my best. You think you could try to do better? Yeah, I probably could try to do better. Well, you know what? If you can do better, try to do that. But don't beat them up every time they are not doing what we would want them to do per se. And I'm not saying if they're misbehaving, but just we got to get in a habit of balancing that out, because there's a lot of people who, as adults, will say, well, I didn't get positive reinforcement when I was growing up. I only heard from my parents when I was messing up or when I was doing, being bad. That's when I got attention. So a lot of times children will act up to get attention, because they're like, well, that's the only time somebody's paying attention to me. So, well, yeah, here it goes, So let's get in the habit of doing both for children. That way they grow up as well-rounded as possible. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. We love and appreciate you. Who said this? Let's see here. Donovan Ukraine says, poof will challenge you. That's my one of my nieces. We call her Fluffy, but she's growing up now, so she's been renamed to Poof. I say she would challenge you one day. She might, but we'll see how that goes. She's the sweetest little girl, just very sweet. All of my nieces and nephews are sweet, sweet people. They're sweet to me, anyway. So I see Don came back up here. See real quick. Don, did you have something else to add? We about to get on out of here.
So parenting is very important. You didn't want my mother to come, put it that way. You did not. If she came up to the school, it was going to be a very, very soft understanding for the next couple weeks. So you did not want her coming up to the school. Anyway, that's pretty much. Parents need to be parents, and
Uh-oh, you kind of froze up. I think your connection is kind of on the wonky side today. Let me see this here. Your average logical thinker says anything less than a B was unacceptable, period. Yeah, I actually didn't bud into a honor roll student until I was like in the 10th grade. For whatever reason, grades weren't my forte, and I guess when I got serious as a high schooler, then I started to get on the honor roll, and of course the rest is history. But I wasn't necessarily browbeat for that because all of my siblings except for me were considered gifted students. They like certified gifted students, right? And so then there was me. But my mom used to always say, well, you got the most common sense. And I'm like, well, that has to count for something.
Right.
But I didn't feel less valued because I wasn't a straight A student or I wasn't naturally gifted. Or in a gifted program or anything like that. But yeah, so I'm not saying we should. And Michael, I'm actually go ahead and put you off of here because we're about to get out of here.
Yeah, I just want to say something like very quickly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so yes, I'll make it quick and fast.
You got 20 seconds.
All right, that's fine. Okay. So I'll say that just because your kids are not excelling academically, they have C's, you can't always blame them because they didn't study hard or work hard. You have to understand why they're struggling and why they're acting out because they're dealing with a lot of pressure, stress. It could be learning disability, or sometimes the disabilities are not diagnosed, and sometimes parents are not aware. That's why early diagnosis and early intervention are very important in a kid's life. It will prevent, disruption in behaviors. And I do know a friend who's done marijuana.
That was
She has
20 seconds.
set example.
That was 20
That's all I have to
seconds.
say. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Come back and see us again. Oh, I love Michael. He's a great guy. One thing about Michael, he gonna have something to say. And Don, you kind of freezing up a little bit. Your internet is really wonky. I see you down here. Are you still with us? Oh, hold on. Did you have something to say before we? Okay.
Yeah. It's just that if the parents are responsible for the result of these children, and I really think that we've lost the place of disciplining children, as well as using shame as a technique to discipline children. And so without that discipline, you get what you get. And society gets what it gets.
And I know we're about to get out of here, but I just want to quickly say I'm not really one to shame the children because I hate when I see on the internet people doing stuff to their children and then filming it, putting it on the internet. I think the shame should be on behalf of the parents because you're raising those children. The children are following your lead. And so to shame the children are just a byproduct of what they are seeing at home or not getting at home. So the shame belongs to the parent, not the children. I believe that we should teach that things should be shameful. But when it comes to shaming tactics of children, because I'm one of those people that believe that, especially as children, they may not act that way when they're older. But when you shame them, especially do it on the internet, where's the redeeming quality? How will they ever be redeemed from that? you cutting hair on the internet, or doing something, whooping them and all that other stuff, talking to them crazy. That lives with them forever. So before we get to the point of shaming children, we need to be ashamed of the stuff that we're teaching them. And then I think we'd have to do that less.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't mean children. When people get to an age of understanding where they should know better, and you've done your job as an adult and you've raised them, when they step outside of those boundaries, yeah, shame is definitely right there. But it doesn't even have to be public. It could be private, in the home, even in front of their siblings if they have them. But it's a non-corporate corporal technique for punishment, and applied correctly, it can have results that you would not necessarily get from a belt. Yes, my mother believed in belts. So, yeah. Anyway, I land there. Wonderful show. Thank you very much, Demetra.
Thank you, Brother Don. Come back and see us again.
We will.
All righty. So yeah, we just have to find different ways of disciplining the children. But as I said, more than anything, we gotta love these children, because a lot of children are not loved. And guess what happens to children who aren't loved? They grow up to be adults that are not loved, and they grow
menaces to society.
Yeah, and they grow up to be children, adults that are voided of love, and they continue the cycle. They end up having children, and they don't love their children. They don't show their children love. I mean, we've got a lot of kids or adults now who say, "I never heard my mom tell me I love me, or she loved me, or my dad never said he loved me." Now, I'm not one of those people that necessarily think that telling somebody that you love them is indicative of love. I think actions speak louder than words. But, for a lot of people, to them, it would have just been nice to have their mom say, "Hey, I love you. Hey, son, I love you," or whatever the case is. Now, my mom, she didn't necessarily say she loved us. That just kind of wasn't her thing. But we knew she loved us. My dad, on the other hand, I'll talk to him every day. "I love you. I love you too, Daddy." So I'm one of those people. It didn't bother me that my mom wasn't very vocal about it, but hell, she took care of us. She did love us and do things that was loving for us. But yeah, we should make it a habit. I tell you all the time when we're on here, I love and appreciate you. I love you, because I know there's some people who have not heard that they were loved in a very long time. So we got to be more than anything with the discipline. We have to incorporate love into how we deal with our children, because they gonna be taking care of y'all, not me, because I refuse. But they're gonna be taking care of the rest of us. So we got to be careful.
Yeah, and let me just add before we go, you always got to look at the context of the person who is giving you the love. Like Demetra says, her mother wasn't very vocal about it. My mom definitely wasn't vocal about it, because our idea of love, if my mom didn't love me, she wouldn't have provided a roof over my head. She wouldn't have provided clothes on my back. She wouldn't have taken me camping, wouldn't have let me go do this and let me go do that, let me go do this. I didn't get hugs or things of that nature, but that was her form of showing love. Because I'm telling you, when I'm in relationships, you can tell me you love me all day long. If I don't see action behind that, you're just telling me words. And I know not everybody's like me, but I'm just saying, in the context that we receive love, make sure you communicate that to your significant other, especially if you come from a situation like me and Demetra and I, where it wasn't vocalized. If you're a person that likes the vocalization, let somebody know that, and so on and so on and so forth. Because like I said, I find out in my relationships, the women are like, "Well, Donovan, you don't, because I'm not into the mushy stuff. I'm into the pound town." No, I'm joking, but my thing is, because and the way that I was taught was, physical, what I'm doing to show you. I'm not going to say, but it's when I'm with you. So yeah, to me, exactly, Sagittarius, action speaks so much louder than words. So much louder.
Yep, love is an action. It's an action. So anyway, we do love you guys, and we will see y'all on Facts Not Feelings. If a woman don't show you love but only say it, she don't really love you. She is just saying it so she can continue to for you to do stuff for her. Well, Hey, baby, I love you. You know, Gucci has a new bag out. Did I say I love you?
Well, show me. Touch those toes. Champagne in the VIP room.
See, we was about to get off of here. Why you want her to touch her toes so you can give her 2 minutes of? I could have had a V8. She down there thinking, oh, hurry up, old geezer, so I can go to the stove. You ain't doing nothing back there, no way. Making all that noise.
Hey, it's not my fault. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, but this is what I decided on.
That's what you say. It's a hallway, but is it a Vienna sausage? Is it a limp noodle? I mean, we got to be logical about it. Is it her? Or is it you?
It's her. It's her.
Would she say the same?
No. Pound Town.
Right. Okay. She like to smell like Ben Gay and all that other stuff. Gray hair is dropping all on the floor and stuff. Get up off of me. Get from behind me. Oh, see, we should have just, Al wants you to sing a song. Don't ask this man to sing. Don't ask him to sing nothing, okay? I tell people all the time, I say, Donovan really be thinking he can sing. But I say he know all the lyrics, but he, boy, just the look on his face like he really just singing something.
You know, and you know what the funny thing is? All of my uncles on my dad's side, we all think we could sing. We would wake up and I see my uncles go out the door and they just be singing and stuff. And talking to my mom, she said that my dad would be a singer. At least he thought he was. He thought he was in a group, you know. So.
Especially back then. You know what? My dad really could sing. He got a really high falsetto and stuff. He think he's Smokey Robinson Jr. But some people say that's where I learned how to sing is from my dad. But yeah, back then they wanted to, be in doo-wop groups and stuff, the baritone, the alto, and the soprano, and they had the harmony and stuff going on. But Donovan, that gene didn't get him. his daddy gene.
Willow, sweet chair.
Doom, 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 doom.
Hey, if Barry White could have a successful career, I can too.
I know the hell, good and hell well, you just sit up here and compare yourself to Barry White.
Take good care of you.
It was how you looked over your glasses for me. I'll take good care. Barry White was just, I'll take good care of you. He didn't have to. Anyway, let me get off of here before everything just goes to hell. Oh, who got a Jolly Rancher? Yep. They do be having little Jolly Ranchers. And I know where he's going with that. It's kind of Jolly Ranchers. Except for I don't know how sweet they smell.
Do not forget to tune in with us on Tuesday. We'll be back Tuesday with our podcast. It will not be live. Later on in the day, we will have a live show. We'll have some subjects for you guys to join us with. Great show tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to check out Philip Scott and the Philip Scott podcast every night, which is going on the African Diaspora News Channel. And also, if you guys are interested, when you want to talk about the revolution, we cannot do the revolution on another person's platform. Check out the African Diaspora News Channel app. There is an app that you guys can do, and we can chop it up. And Demetra K is on there, and she puts on videos that we might not could put here on YouTube. So if you guys are interested, go over there, share the link, and become a member.
Please and thank you, because the more members we get over there on the African Diaspora News Channel app, the African Diaspora News Channel, I think it's .org or something like that. Y'all can go into the channel and get the link. The more people we get over there, the more we can be less dependent on other people's platforms, and y'all can get the real and the raw over there. Not like BET Uncut, nothing like that. But we could really just say what we can't say on these platforms, and trust me, y'all will be better for it, right? And of course, y'all see our brother Phil. He keep it real, keeping it real with brother Phil. That sounds like a good show name. I have to pitch that to him. Keeping it real with brother Phil. He keep it real. He on, I give it to y'all the way you can't get it on YouTube. So yeah, y'all please do go over there and become members. And then Ebony, we're gonna talk about that on Tuesday because I want to actually give it a little bit more research. And Facts Not Feelings says YouTube will ban any talk of revolution. Yeah, which is why we really don't kind of talk about it much. You said you over there dying, you needed this laugh. Well, that's what we here for, sister. That's what we here for. Come back on Tuesday. I'm sure we're gonna say something else that's gonna make you laugh. But in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the evening. We love and appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great evening. Peace.